51 minutes, 20 seconds before SportsCenter hits air, and everything's starting to heat up from every angle of ESPN's digital center, control room, and newsroom. You know, a ball game is 2.5, 3, maybe 3.5 hours. A highlight from that ball game, 45 seconds a minute, maybe a minute 30. It's not just about find 4 good plays, edit them on the tape, roll tape. Highlights got to do more than that. It's got to tell a story. It's got to convey a theme, focus on an athlete, maybe parts of all of those. But it has to be interesting. It has to be creative. You got to leave the viewer satisfied that even though they didn't see the ball game, they saw the highlight and they're cool with that. So how do you do it? Carefully.
Everything that has to get done to put a live show on the air is absolutely crazy.
PAs make SportsCenter happen. Without the PAs, there would be no SportsCenter.
We are the worker bees of the hive.
Let's get things started. Yankees, Red Sox, Elliott Wiley. What do you have?
Obviously, Kurt Schilling is returning for the Red Sox tonight. The highlight meeting, everybody comes in with their ideas. Production assistants come with ideas to how to produce a great highlight.
Great job of pitching.
That was money right there.
This one caught by Juan Uribe.
Nice play, Juan. Web gem me.
Wow. The most difficult part of being a PA is the spontaneity of sports. You never know what's going to happen, and everything changes on the swing of a bat.
Back. Got nothing to work with except Tejada. Research is imperative. If you don't know what's going on in your game, you're up a creek. Yo, can you hook me up with a Smoltz ISO?
Yo, I may need 2 fact bars out of you.
You have to be able to handle pressure.
Nice!
That would probably be the first thing you have to be able to do to work here.
We got drama.
I stay focused through, I don't know how I stay focused, tell you the truth, it's crazy.
You want me to send Lenny the time codes around the place so we can pre-produce the whole part of it?
We should arrow Podsednik not knowing where the ball is.
All right, I'm heading to the edit room. Hi, Garlinsky. The edit room is stressful. I just want to give you a heads up. I'm going to have to run through this one more time.
I got a problem here.
This is going to be tight.
There is nothing like sitting in a room and knowing what you're creating is going to hit the air in 2 minutes and you're not finished with it. Can you hook me up with the time code for that home run?
Do you want to can the fact bar for now? We're hitting in 30 minutes.
Yo, dude, I'm ready for my fact bars. Can you throw those up online? You okay with that?
Deep drive to center by Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, no. Schilling just gave up a 2-run home run. Alex Rodriguez.
You have to be very organized. Without organization, you're dead.
Allowed 12 of 19 inherited runners to score.
Allowed 12 of 19 inherited runners to score.
Elliot,
yes,
you just want to rip these together?
Please.
Just bang, bang, bang.
Yep.
So you're going to get Francona. You're going to see Rivera start to trot out.
Yep.
We have to get new fact bar, relay new fact bar, republish highlight.
It will be at hour 20, 50, 12. And again, it's a Derek Lee strikeout swing.
So this is going to be really close. So you got your running shoes on? Nice.
White Sox will be coming in at 119. All right, White Sox and Indians?
Shot sheet is a sheet that we make to describe the plays that the talent is about to see.
You know, we flash back to other fan moments at Fenway. If you remember earlier this year on April 14th, Sheffield fielding the ball. He gets into a shoving match with a fan.
We have a flashback for the Sheffield incident. Right. And then we go back to another look at that.
We go back to the 14th of April in a right field incident with Gary Sheffield.
We barely made it, but, you know, the key is to get it in on time.
Well, that's the NPR version of the making of a highlight. Here's the live action version. We got Raina here on the White Sox, Red Sox. They're selling hamburgers right now. Game's tied, but you got other problems, right?
Yes, we actually have an animation we're waiting for. We already started to create it, but it's kind of going to be a last-minute decision if we get it or not. So
work hard. And who do we have here? Kat, WNBA?
WNBA tonight.
I miss Rebecca Lobo. Gabe, what are you working on?
I'm going to be getting ready to babysit for Raina.
How much do you get? We pay Emily $8 an hour to babysit.
Not too much more.
All right, keep up the good work. And lastly, we got Alfonso Soriano not doing the PA work, but he's one away from the cycle?
Yeah, he's leading off next inning. He needs a homer to do it.
Homers are easy. Good luck. Let's go down to Sal, the newsroom.
All right, I'm with Chris Berman, the founding father of SportsCenter. After 26 years, Boomer, what are you working on after 26 years to make it interesting?
Maybe the floundering father. No, I'm, you know what? Every night is different. Every night is different. We got a game here between the Red Sox and the White Sox. It's tied at 4. They just knocked out Burley, all-star starter. You never know what the script is.
And I hear Linda's working on a change at the top of SportsCenter. What's going on, Linda?
I'll tell you, Sal, it's very exciting. Well, it is. I mean it. I'm not kidding. These things happen at the last minute. Don't laugh, Mark Summer, my wonderful producer. These things happen at the last minute. It got a little too heavy in the top of the show. We want to branch out the Pistons story. So we're doing the Larry Brown toward the top, but we're going to do in the back end later in the show, just to keep you focused. We're going to do Flip Saunders and the whole big hiring in Detroit.
Well, let's ask Mark Summer, the producer. Mark, you decided to make this change. Why did you decide to make this change?
Well, because we have some major news coming out of Philadelphia involving Terrell Owens. We don't know everything, but the president of the Eagles said something.
There's a shock, right? It's shocking.
And so that's going to be a major story. We're going to listen to what he says. We have another thing where the top of the show is now too heavy, so I have to break up the Larry Brown story, move some of it down later in the show. The Red Sox game, which is supposed to be the lead story, is not going to be over, it doesn't look like. The game's crazy, as Boomer said, 4-4. So that game, if it's not over, we can't run that there. So it's chaos already, and it's 45 minutes to air, and I'm heavy on top of that. So we're in trouble.
We're heavy right now, so we got to go to Stu. T.O. making news, Stu. Who knew?
T.O. making news? That hasn't happened in at least a day. Thanks a lot, Sal. Hey, we got about 45 minutes to go before SportsCenter. We're hitting you with that, and we got plenty more to hit you with on This Is SportsCenter. You know, if I was an athlete and I made like my 4th touchdown catch of the night, Boom would say, Stewart, Great Scott. Just where do all those nicknames come from? Boomer shares when we come back.
It's a pick by Mike After Dinner Minter. Mike Pepperoni Piazza. Belted. Gone. No more Mr. Nice Guy Garcia Para.
Welcome to This Is SportsCenter, presented by Diet Pepsi.
41 minutes and 45 seconds left to go before SportsCenter. I don't know if you all feel the tension, but look at these people. That's tension written all over their faces. George Smith has no tension. He does have a report. George?
Stu, no panicking in television like no crying in baseball. Come take a walk with me. Let's talk with Joe. He's the technical director of the show. Give us a brief synopsis, Joe, of exactly what you do.
Well, I'm responsible for programming the special effects through the switcher here, and ultimately the visual portion of the show. I mix that.
How hard is it?
It depends on the night. Some nights it could be very difficult. Depends on the director. Chris Ruskas is one of our finest directors here. And we should be good tonight. It's going to be a good night, I think.
Okay, just a little bit. Let's stop over here and talk with Shauna right quick. Are you here just in case you're the associate director? Are you here just in case he messes up?
Oh, yeah, I'm totally picking up Chris's slack tonight. That's why I'm here.
How often does that happen?
Just about 3 or 4 times every night.
All right, thanks very much. And let's walk over here, talk with Sean, the font coordinator. Fonts are like when you see a name on the screen. Carl Yastrzemski, Boston Red Sox. Is that basically the story?
Yeah, that's pretty much the story. Anyone's name who's talking, someone on the screen also scores and things for highlights. Pretty much what I'm responsible for.
When you make mistakes, do they come after you?
Well, yeah, unless I can, send it somewhere else. But usually, yeah, they're after me when something's wrong, spelled wrong, wrong information or anything.
Okay, we wish you well tonight. Good luck. Thanks a lot. Stu, that's a quick view here. We'll send it back to you.
Like when they spelled my name S-T-E-W-A-R-T. Hey, from Burt B. Home, Bly 11 to Andre Bad Moon Rising, Chris Berman's nicknames have been maybe one of, if not the most popular part of SportsCenter for the last 26 years. And Boom, forever young, keeps them coming. The other night, when we kicked off SportsCenter 50 and 50 from Boston, Boom had me like this, trying not to laugh as he yelled out, Yincy, push up Brazaban. Boom's the man. From the past to the present and into the future, Boom explains how it all goes down.
It's a pick by Mike After Dinner Minter. No more Mr. Nice Guy Garcia Para. Gets him. 3rd and 3. Eric sleeping with the enemy. Nicknames are historical in sports. I mean, Babe Ruth. I didn't come up with that one. Jolton Joe DiMaggio, the Splendid Splinter. Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. Can't take credit for that. But it always seemed to be flavored. I was at Brown as an undergrad, sipping my favorite beverage, which of course at that time was Perrier. We'd sit around and look at box scores, maybe nickname some guys, have a good time, have a few laughs, and didn't think much of it. Barry U.S. Bond turns on a back, gone. Mike Pepperoni Piazza, belted, gone. First nickname on air was my first year here, which was our first baseball season here in 1980. I was doing the overnight show, which then was not even 2:30, it was more like 3 a.m., sometimes 3:30 a.m. In the very beginning, I was out there alone and doing a highlight. One of them from my days at Brown, one of them came out. It was either John Bayberry RFD or Frank Tanana-Daiquiri. Both of them probably came out that night, and the camera was like shaking a little bit, and the producer went, "What? You go to commercials? Did that really happen?" But it did, and everybody seemed to get a chuckle. Howdy, 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 howdy. Howdy, oh. Callaway, 21 yards, there they go. Marshall, 18 yards for Falk. Ty Law, he fought the law and the law won. They're very upset, even in the early days when they didn't have one. It's kind of funny. I guess it means you've arrived in some ways. I promised him if he did it, I'd give him the name Darren Sharper Image.
I'm always amazed at how far Boom will go to get that nickname, because it can be a single word.
The Ben Winter coach.
Part of a name.
Jerome, you better, you better, you better.
A whole phrase.
Daylight come and you got to Delhomme. Jake Delhomme.
I've been amazed at how he has kind of evolved the whole process.
Ricky Running Waters picks up at first down. Curtis, my favorite Mark. Andres the Giant Galarraga. Gone. We created a monster. Not yet.
I'm with Chris Berman in the newsroom. And Chris, we just saw the piece on your great nicknames. What's your favorite all-time nickname?
That's tough. There have been a lot of them. I was like John tonight, let it be Lowenstein, beer and baseball. Or what parent hadn't said it and what kid hadn't heard it? Bert, be home, Blyleven. That's it's kind of, we've all lived that.
I liked How Did They Come?
He likes that they fall, Jimmy Cliff. But we're going reggae now on that. Players like Albert, Winnie the Pooh.
Players do like it, but any player not like it come up to you and say, hey, come on.
I think back to, and I think he was kidding around, Kevin Largemouth Bass, okay? Now he said, Chris, it makes it sound like, I said, don't you like it? Yeah, but it makes it sound like I'm a big complainer. I said, all right, Kev, so how about smallmouth bass? He goes, I like it. So I negotiated. It worked.
Good. Thanks a lot, Chris. Let's go to Kenny Mayne. Kenny, where are you?
I'm in screening, and this is the starting lineup in screening at production assistant from Ridgeway, Pennsylvania, 5'5", Raina McCartney. At highlight supervisor, 5'9", from East Longmeadow, Mass., Jason Cloutier. And the editor, 7'4", from Waterville, Maine, Greg Ronitz Baker. Now, when last you saw Raina, she was over there watching the Red Sox-White Sox game. She abandoned that to get in the edit room because you're, like 36 minutes from air. You going to make it?
Yeah, definitely. Plenty of time.
The game kind of blew up in your face right there as you were leaving, too, right? Some things happened?
Yeah, bases loaded, sack, fly. Ortiz was tagged out at third, but Renteria scored in time, so Boston takes the lead, 2 runs in the 7th. It's
Ortiz is a big block of a man. Jason Cloutier, there's still the issue of that special fancy effect. Is that going to get done on time?
We're still waiting to hear about that. Creative Services hasn't gotten back to us. We're ready to go with it or without it.
All right, Greg, you're really not 7'4", are you?
No.
All right, keep up the good work. Let's go to Stewart as they try to make this thing at the top of the show.
Thanks, Skinny. I look up at my clock, I see 35 minutes. I look down in the corner of your clock, I see 35 minutes. Plenty more to go before SportsCenter hits air, including we got the... I lost my word. See, that's a mistake. And even though you think we're perfect, sometimes mistake happens. And when they do happen, it's called a blooper. Because if you mess up on TV, it will show up on TV. Bloopers coming.
These are professional punts.
It doesn't sound weird because we're on their show. It's very.
And good evening. Welcome to SportsCenter, along with Bob Lee. I'm Dan Patrick, and no, that's. You're Bob Lee. I'll be. Got it right. Last night in Chicago, somebody we'll figure this out. We are on.
We really are.
Oh, well. Hi.
Can you hear me? You cannot hear me.
Over here. Hello.
I'm just checking to see if I look okay.
I've lost my mind.
See if I look hot.
Another.
Tell him I can hear this.
But is he worth bringing on board given the baggage that he's also going to be carrying with him?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Am I on?
Well, there you have it.
Hi.
That's live TV. That's what it's all about. He's a professional putz. He really is.
I'm eating it.
Fans booed Canseco's 2 performances and even pounded on the truck he was in when he left the park last night.
Why do I come down here?
Are you?
Let me give you the mic.
Thanks. In the National, the prime matchup was the Braves.
Sorry, national anthem. Written by Francis Scott off-key.
Oh, Lord, every night like this. After Oliver McCall stunned Lennox Lewis. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. No, just go on to the next thing.
I mean, my God, all you guys do is pick on me and pick on me, but I love it.
You done? All right, we're going to do that physical fitness thing, so enjoy your workout. I'm Chris Myers as we head for the dark days of summer. Lights out, baby. I'm Jack Edwards. I'm Chris Myers. See you. This one counts, all right? Maybe, maybe not. Wow.
Welcome back to This is SportsCenter. About 30 minutes and 50 seconds to go before SportsCenter hits over on ESPN2. Make sure you stay with us right here on ESPN for a behind-the-scenes look at SportsCenter. Since it's about that time, 30 past, we got SportsCenter 30 at 30. The latest update, we bring in Stan Verrett. Stan?
Go, White Mike, go.
I'm Stan Verrett with this SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. Just 2 days after parting with the Pistons, Larry Brown met with the Knicks president Isaiah Thomas tonight. The Knicks say they won't make any public statements until Friday. Baseball handed out 5 suspensions after Sunday's brawl between the Tigers and Royals. Elvis Hernandez got 10 games for starting it by beating Carlos Guillen. And at the Avion Masters, Annika Storin stamps 66, leaves her 2 off the lead. Michelle Wie 9 shots back after a second round 70. Now back to more of This is SportsCenter on ESPN.
Thanks a lot, Stan. You know, 6 weeks after breaking his leg, Terrell Owens caught 9 passes in the Super Bowl for 122 yards. Yesterday, he compared himself to Jesus Christ. Today, just another day for T.O. Let's go to Sal in the newsroom.
Well, Stu, before we get to that, I want to give you tonight's newsroom lineup. Leading off in researchers, David Carabella. Dave Stevens is on the assignment editor's job. Alan Witt, news editor on the news desk. Let's bring in Dave Stevens because we talked about Mark Summer before changing the top of SportsCenter to include the comments by Terrell Owens. You're on the phone trying to get those comments in. What are you working on?
Right now, we're trying to get the tape fed from Atlanta to Colorado. It's a weird way of sending things, but they feed the tape to Colorado. Colorado, which I'm holding with right now, is going to then feed it to us. We'll hopefully hear the sound of Terrell Owens talking about what the GM said, and hopefully it'll be good enough to get on SportsCenter in the first part.
Well, we only got about 30 minutes or less left before we can get that sound in, Stu, so they're working hard to get that done. And as soon as we get it, we'll bring it right to you. Go ahead.
All right, Sal, thanks a lot. You know, people ask all the time, if you do the 11 p.m. SportsCenter, what time do you come in for work? Like 10:15? Come on, son. We got work to do, man. This ain't just sit the anchor down at the desk and have him read when he comes in 20 minutes before the show. Anchors come in about 8 or 9 hours before SportsCenter. We take part in the planning meetings. We write our own scripts. Getting SportsCenter on the air is an all-day process, and it starts at 9 a.m. in the morning, and it goes from there. We have what we call the 9 a.m. planning meeting. Everybody is involved in this thing. The day begins with the 9:15 meeting to determine the top stories of the day.
There's some developments that happened overnight. Bill Davidson, the owner of the Pistons, spoke, gave his reasons for the ouster of Brown.
And when breaking news hits, everybody gets seriously pumped up. We do. We love what we do, especially senior coordinating producer David Brofsky.
Let's go. Let's get moving. I think that's where we shine as an organization. You know, when there's a big story that happens, we cover it as well as anybody.
Once the show content is set, it's time for some SportsCenter ideas, and the floor is wide open.
Should we try to do like some sort of off-season NBA device, fact or fiction, take your pick with like Stein?
The game's going to be more exciting if there's no red line, if there's going to be shootouts. That's what people care about.
And they're rising, like maybe like, hey, summer's heating up, look who's up, look who's down. It's good. We thought
Then at the 6 p.m. meeting, our producer Rob Gajaro, we nickname him Grip Gajaro, you know what that means, breaks down his assignments.
For a 90-minute show with a lot of pieces to be put together means people are going to start working on things early and then turn around and do a second element later on.
And at the 11 p.m. Ideas meeting, the man we call Schwab Watt, Boom Watt, strolls in for the big show.
We have a good amount of stuff tonight. Not to mention we have Linda and Boomer doing the show tonight.
Hockey into Alaska in the second section.
Hockey into
How's
Alaska.
that for producing?
All right, I'm going to go call him right now after Joy, talk to Joy.
Check that, 7 hours. Less than 7 to TV.
Listen, I'm back on the other side of the newsroom with Maureen Hassett-Lindsay. There's a whole lot of stuff going on around her. She's the coordinating producer, the pilot of this ship. What is happening at the top of this show?
Well, Mark Summer here has overloaded the show. We're a minute heavy, which TV turns means
she just threw you under the bus.
That's
Mark.
nice. Thanks, Mo.
Rid of some time in the show. We don't have the Red Sox game is not over, so we've got to kind of juggle some things around.
Well, it's your job, so let's get it done.
Well, we'll get it done, and it'll be fun, and everybody can see how fun it is to do it.
Boomer, I think it's time to go to makeup. You want to take a walk?
First of all, you can't blame Maureen or Mark for the show being long. If I'm on it, I'm like the four corners offense by Dean Smith. You know, it's heavy when they assign me to the show. Are you telling me when to go to makeup?
Let's go.
We don't need that stinking makeup. Do we have to go now?
Let's go. Let's take a walk. Now,
the Moody Blues, we better go now.
This is a walk you've taken for many years.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think?
Admittedly, in the old days, it was only one building. I was younger then. I made it quicker.
What do you think about when you make this walk?
Well, you say, okay, do I have all my shot sheets? Do I have my script? And when the answer is yes and no, you know you're in for an interesting show.
Yeah.
And right now I don't have my script, but I expect to get it at some point before 11. Be home by 11. And we just passed Dave Cat Stevens, by the way. You met him before. And I'm saying, you know what? Some of these games aren't over. Well, here's what we say. We'll see the highlights when America sees it. We see them all together for the first time.
But you got T.O. making news. That's
Yes,
making your job a little easier.
Except that you know what's going to... The training camp isn't open yet. So there's going to be much more posturing. And I guess there were some salvos fired. We're going to hear them tonight. The job easier is that, T.O. will be interesting. It's too bad it has to come to this because we...
Well, you know Andy Reid so well.
Yes, I do.
How does that make your job here more difficult, or does it make it a little easier?
It makes it easier because I think I know how he thinks and what they're thinking. I also know T.O. I've known him since he was a rookie with the 49ers, and I know what he's thinking about a little bit. And I do know that it's still 10 days to camp, and so there's going to be more posturing. It's the way it goes.
Well, we're getting wrapped in my ear. You got to get moving out to makeup.
This is the walk. This is.
Yeah, but
it's not quite the walk down Hollywood Boulevard, but in sports, maybe it is. Sports TV, it is. We're going to have a good show tonight.
All right, you go to makeup. I'm going to hang out in the newsroom.
I'm disappointed. What's the weather? Uncle Wet. Hot tomorrow. He always does the weather on football.
You'll have to wait till week 1 at Giant
Okay.
Stadium.
It'll be hot.
Okay.
Aloha.
All right, we'll see you in makeup. Let's go to Kenny May. Kenny, you got Boomer next, Kenny.
Well, we'll get him eventually. With Sal covering that, it kind of came off like a perp walk to me anyway. All right, we're going to update you on a couple of the items in screening. With the Red Sox game, they do believe they're going to get that fancy effect. They think they'll make their time. I do hope they mention that Chicago and Boston are playing as first-place teams for the first time since 1977, but who didn't know that? Now, as for James, he didn't get the Soriano cycle because he grounded out, and the WNBA, Liberty by 2. Let's go to George now.
Back to I-3.
Now, but that'll all start to
Probably
change
with
in just about 20 minutes or so when the show begins. Things will start to buzz in here. A couple of things to keep an eye on. We've been talking about the Red Sox game. Will that end? Will that change at the top of the show, the order of the stories? And also, there's always a potential for breaking news. Stay tuned. Let's go to Shelley in the studio.
How many times have you watched SportsCenter and always wanted to know what was behind the desk? Well, we're going to show you. All right, we've got Boomer's cups. Looks like there's plenty of cups. Laptops to look at the rundown as the show goes on. Tissue. And a mirror. And this one's broken. That can't be good luck. Maybe that's why we have all the bloopers. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Shelley. And the cool thing about this, Kenny mentioned it earlier, we had an old screening room before. I mean, it was nice, but it wasn't this. This looks like some kind of cosmic spaceship thing. We have monitors in the newsroom where you can see all the games. That's called a rundown. A rundown is something in our computer. It tells us where the stories are and what order they go in. This screening room is so high-tech that every production assistant, associate producer can look at the rundown and tell when the stories are hitting, when they're not hitting. Now, you saw Chris Berman walking to makeup. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a secret. Chris Berman, when he does NFL Primetime, the show hits at 7. He has been known to stroll into the studio at 6:59 and 30 seconds. He has producers sweating. Still to come here on This is SportsCenter. More behind-the-scenes look at what SportsCenter is and who has worked for SportsCenter before. 10 things that you may not know. Stick and stay with us.
If everything is on time at 10:45.
Welcome back to This is SportsCenter, presented by Diet Pepsi.
There's the man we know as Schwa, Chris Berman, making the walk. 26 years of doing SportsCenter. I can't do math, but I'm going to say 6,000, 7,000 times he's made this walk. Maybe to the new studio, it's just like a few dozen times he's made the walk. Let's check out Kenny May now. Kenny?
Yeah, I'm standing like virtually in the control room, and I wanted to see what would happen if I pressed some of the buttons. One day it'll be like that. That's something you probably didn't know. And until tonight, you didn't know that we had such a fancy screening room. John Anderson, he's been looking at other things you did not know about ESPN.
Number 10, Matt Lauer, host of NBC's Today Show since 1997, once worked for ESPN. Back in 1988, Lauer was the ice-level reporter during the NHL Wales Conference Finals between the Boston Bruins and the New Jersey Devils. At number 9, ESPN was the first network to air live events from the 4 major league sports on the same day. April 27th, 2003 saw ESPN broadcast the NFL Draft, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, and a Major League Baseball regular season game. In the 8th spot, what started out as a 75-employee company in 1979 has grown to more than 3,600 people, working through 65 entities in 5 different countries. 7. When ESPN began in 1979, there was one trailer on only 4 acres of property. Today, it's grown to 65 acres, with more than 600,000 square feet of facilities. Number 6, the newest addition to the ESPN campus is a 140,000 square foot digital center, completed early in 2004 with more than 6 million feet of cabling and wires.
Get the bat in the hands and you pull up your pants and do the rock away.
More than 11,000 highlights are shown on SportsCenter every year. In the 4-hole, tapes, and more tapes. There are more than 1.4 million tapes housed in 4 different locations here in Bristol. 3, the highest-rated program ever on ESPN was the December 6, 1987 NFL game between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Number 2, the highest-rated SportsCenter aired on Christmas Day, 1994. Which just happened to follow a game between the Dolphins and the Lions, our second highest-rated NFL game. And number 1, believe it or not, on the very first SportsCenter, way back in 1979, there wasn't a single highlight shown.
Ah, what a glamorous business we have here. This spacious makeup room. I caught up with Boomer and Linda. Linda, a few minutes to the show. What's going through your head right now?
Absolutely nothing.
All right, good to know.
No, seriously, this is a time, I'm telling you, listen, this is a time where you just sit back, relax, be pampered for about 10 minutes, because that's all we get, and then get ready to do a show and have fun. That's what it's all about. You know that show.
Who wears more makeup, you or Linda?
Well, I don't wear a lot. Nothing could help here, but Patricia has a very important job here in a moment. She has to comb both of my hairs, Shelley, to get it ready for the show.
All right, you're going with the pink shirt tonight. Is that your metrosexual?
Oh, no. Summer, Hawaiian, it's vibrant, it's happening, it's a fun show. Your show's more interesting than ours, by the way.
Not a good sign. All right,
yeah, it is.
Back to you guys.
Getting in touch with my metro.
If that's the case, she's going to be reading the teas a lot.
All right, these are the studio lineups. I would do them, high-def style. Jib operator Nate Davis, our stage manager. You're going to see her a lot. Christine DeStefano. Video operations, Brandon Sullivan. On our cameras here in the studio, a 5'11" sophomore. Well, Troy Jones, not really a sophomore, but we love saying that. Heather Chaponis and Matt Vijak, all on camera. And always on camera, like every night. Linda.
Hey, how are you?
All right, for the record, people, I am 6 feet tall.
I know.
And Linda.
Are you going to tell them another secret?
Well, If I don't, they're going to think I'm 5'4".
I know, and that would that hurt your image a little bit?
Yeah, I got a little thing. So, okay.
All right,
so
I'm standing
you're
on
standing
a
on a box. But why are you standing here in front of a green panel?
Isn't that amazing? I'm just learning about it. I've been here long enough, but it's the magic of television, Stuart. When people, the viewers, see it, there won't be a green panel there. There'll be actually video of what I'm talking about.
Wait a second. I've seen SportsCenter before. Hold on. This is the part before SportsCenter comes on where you all stand up and tell us what's going to be on SportsCenter, right?
We like to call it, Stuart, the pre-tease.
The pre-tease.
Very original title.
So you're about to do it?
Yeah.
All right. This is going to be recorded in advance. And we're going to be right off to the side while you do the pre-tease.
Okay.
So you're talking to your producer for your 11 o'clock show.
Yes, right.
And you'd rather me be quiet right now so you can hear him.
You're becoming
Am I
almost
bothering you?
annoying.
I'm sorry.
All right,
I'll be quiet.
All right.
Pan a little
Linda,
right.
Yeah?
Good luck.
All
with
right.
this.
Thanks,
We
Stuart.
Yeah,
truck
anytime.
right, ever pan your other right.
We're just going to do the
All right,
pre-tease.
pan your other right.
Have they
Pan
told you
right.
like 3 seconds yet?
No, I look forward to that, but I haven't
lock
told
All
you
right.
that.
Since they
They told
haven't,
me to just look in the
come here.
camera.
Let me show you something. Look in the camera. You see the
All right, stand by.
teleprompter
We're
right
gonna do
there?
Now they're telling me to stand by.
Those are the words Linda's going to
Tell me when
say.
you're ready.
All right.
21 sound dissolving camera 3, Linda's mic. I 1 to 2 in the screen. Here we go. Clear the studio, please. 21 online. Track 21, play it. Set camera 3, Linda's mic. Again, I 1 to 2. Are you good? Outer mic. Roll I 1, dissolve, go.
Larry Brown and Isaiah
Stand by
Thomas
I2.
meeting tonight. Find out how close Larry Brown is to Madison Square Garden and why his ex-boss in Detroit let him
Roll
go.
I2, wipe change.
Plus, T.O.
This
delivers
freezes
a
at 30.
big
Laying out off of
ultimatum
this.
to Eagles brass. What he said and why it isn't good news for Philly fans. SportsCenter starts right now.
And Clipper mic.
27 right now.
All right. Go to black, Fay Music, clip publish. That's the pre-tease. Linda, let me know when you're set to do the tease.
Okay, I'm set to do the tease.
What do you
think? That was good, right?
That was really good.
Okay,
That
good.
was
See,
great.
one take.
Okay, just stand right
Just
here.
got a level on
We got to go to
22.
Kenny Mayne, who's going to tell us something else about a show that you're going to do that comes up in about 15 minutes. Kenny?
Hey, Stuart, even further behind the scenes, Linda got her big start in Seattle, Washington. I remember the day she was hired. I was mad because I was still in Seattle. Not that there's anything wrong with Seattle. We're in edit D9. You remember Jason. You remember Rainey. You remember the editor, Greg, Ron, and Baker. They're going to get it done. White Sox, Red Sox will be done on time as far as the highlight goes, but the stupid game won't end. So they're probably going to miss their spot, not through their fault. Creative Services came through, got that big fancy effect. It's all going to work from this end. They just need the baseball players to cooperate so it can get on the TV. I'll look at either camera. It's up to you guys. It really doesn't matter to me. And this is a little bit like those SportsCenter promos or commercials to you. You've liked them. They're Tony Award winning. Let's go behind the scenes on those as well.
Every now and then something magical happens. Come to work. Think it's gonna be a normal day. Gonna do some SportsCenter, and then the Terrapin shows up. And a decent day becomes the greatest day that's ever been.
That! The cameras always follow me around wherever I go.
A slump for Tiger Woods is a career year for anybody else.
I'm gonna go back in. I think I saw a few more people working.
You think he knows it's just a drill?
That's good, except Steve, you shouldn't be chewing gum, you're sleeping.
Right, cup.
Spit it out, here we go.
1, 2, cup.
Just spit it. And action.
Look at me! I'm Mr. Crazy Mask Man!
We're just laying on the table here.
Thank you all, that's a wrap, thank you.
I'm back in the newsroom with Mark Summer, the producer of the 11 o'clock show. You caused all the angst and drama here to put T.O. at the top of the show. Now that you heard his comments, why did you do that?
Well, Owens was pretty good. He basically talked about playing possibly for the Atlanta Falcons. So he's upset. It's just the lead story right now. It's a big story, and wait till you hear the sound. It's pretty good.
Well, Jack Obringer, your boss is telling you to get down there, so you better get going. Under 8 minutes left to SportsCenter. We will be back.
About 5 minutes left before SportsCenter hits air. Terrell Owens is making some big news. People all over the building are flexing, talking about it. Let's go down to George Smith. George?
Well, Stu, it's amazing how many people are involved in the show and how many people it takes for a show to go smoothly. You're beginning to meet some of the people behind the scenes. Here are some of the stars of the control room.
Mark Summer, producer. Mark Summer, producer. My responsibilities as the producer of SportsCenter is basically look at the news of the day, figure out what's important, what should be in the show. Normally, I'm talking to both anchors. Someone's talking to me. I'm talking to the prompter. I'm carrying on 6 or 7 conversations at once while trying to listen to 3.
Maureen Hassett-Lindsay, coordinating producer. I'm like the head coach on the show. I need to make sure that everybody understands the game plan going into the show. I want to make sure that from beginning to end, we get it on the air in the proper manner.
Chris Ruskis, director. My primary concern is keeping the show clean. It's the look of the show. The shots are composited correctly. The show is executed correctly. That the show looks the way it should.
Okay, we're here with Mark. Mark, how often does the top of the show change?
You know, George, it changes often. I mean, I'd say 60% of the time it changes during the night. I mean, a couple years ago when we did this show, Bill Miller hit grand slams from each side of the plate. Last year, the rundown went away. This year, all of a sudden, we got some sound with Terrell Owens talking about possibly playing for the Falcons, not being happy with the Eagles. So, as usual, stuff's going on, and we're changing stuff. And I actually am changing the top of the show, so I have to explain to Chris and Linda actually what we're doing. But it makes it fun, and it makes the night go quick.
We'll see you in just a few minutes. Let's go back to the studio, Steve.
I'm in the newsroom right now, George, with Alan Witt, the news editor. He's the last man holding down the fort. The producers, the anchors have all gone down to do the show. And we still have breaking news developing here with the T.O. situation after he made those comments in Atlanta. And also, we're trying to keep track of what's happening with Larry Brown and Isaiah Thomas out in the Hamptons. So Alan Witt is right here monitoring the latest breaking news. And we've got to have breaking news get on the show, right, Shelley, or else it's not SportsCenter.
That's right, Sal. I'm in the most dangerous part of the building. This is the hallway where all the action comes. People are running highlight tapes, running. Sean, right here. Yes. Where are you headed?
Bringing this to Berman. I got the Astros Nationals highlight. We just got moved up in the show, so I've got about a minute to get it to him.
All right, go. Kenny.
All right, 2.5 minutes to air. Red Sox, White Sox in the 8th. No chance at making the top of the show. Behind me, Kristen and Joe working on the A's and the Rangers. A's lead by 1. Home team trailing, as they say on the 682 page. These shows have no shot at being at the top of the show. World's strongest man might be our lead. It's up to Summer to figure it out, Stuart.
All right, Kenny, thanks a lot. All right, game time, showtime. It's usually the seat that I sit in SportsCenter. I mean, since Boom got tenure, I'm going to go ahead and let him do his thing. All right, 2 minutes before the show. The most prevailing thing going on in your mind right now is?
We're not really sure what the first story is. But you know what? We've done this before. We're gonna ski down. I feel like Alberto Tomba sometimes, skiing down the slope, trying to hit all the gates.
Linda, what's it like when everything is changing?
To work with this guy, incredible.
Berman, right? Now, you guys are having a lot of fun, but there is some kind of tension. What's that feel like?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's tension. It's like not being in control of the situation because there are people in the control room that are telling us what's coming next, what to do. But wouldn't define it as tension.
No,
it would be like excitement, adrenaline rush.
You know what it's like? It's like we call it, one of my producers, Jay Cutlow in baseball, we call it coming off the ski dock. I'm not a big water skier, as you might guess, but
really,
yeah, you just go
for the ride.
And here you go. You're in the diamond lane, the passing lane. So it's kind of fun. This is your show. Is interesting.
Yeah, it is. Real interesting.
This is SportsCenter, huh?
This is SportsCenter. All right. There's about a minute left before the show. Let's listen in. Listen to the control room. Listen to what they tell you. I'm going to
get smart.
Can we make sure?
Okay, am I 99?
Yes.
23. We're recording on the Red Sox.
Unfortunately, right now we're in the cone of silence.
We're definitely recording on the Red Sox. I don't know. Did we get the 5-4 run, Todd?
Yeah. On the 5-4.
30 seconds.
7-year deal.
Hey, Boomer, it's Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Boomer,
Yo,
heads up.
But they don't have the 5-4?
I'll start it. No, they're not putting the stack 5.
So I'm just going to wing it, right?
Just because they don't want to?
Yeah.
I'm just.
Can you put it on the
All right,
higher?
well, here's
I'm just going to wing it.
We're in the 8th,
Make
though.
sure Summer gets off on time.
That's it. Hi there. That's it.
On green.
I'm sorry. Do it again. What are we doing?
That's
It's a
perfect.
two-shotters, right?
6, 5.
That's good.
Let's don't have the sound. 4.
Why do you keep moving?
Hey,
What do you need?
I have the following thing to say.
1. Roll 21.
Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
All right, 27 seconds.
Where's Matt Doyle?
You can move it up a little bit.
Matt Doyle, 5'6".
Definitely
Neil,
after
can you move it
I hear
up?
the quote green, I need brown. It's going to be camera
Don't be
1.
shy.
Okay. Hey, I'm being told that the Terrell Owens sound is coming in now. Sound is coming in now, I'm being told. Lance Becker, let me know when you have an Owens sound. Mo, can you find out about Jesse Stein in one play?
He's on his way. He's
All right.
on his way.
All right.
Look at this.
Hey, one play. Let me know when Jesse gets in there.
All right, so once again, boom.
Is he in there?
46 seconds.
We're going to come on camera. We're going to put up the banner quote. And here's what Owens had to say.
I'm going to say something first, right?
And then Linda will pick it up leading to the Brown Ronaldo. Okay? You guys got it? Good luck. We're all
Two,
counting on you.
camera 3 with red. Terrell Owens to green quote music. 3 pages. 15.
He will be. The Owens sound. Mo, you got a sound on Owens?
He's
You got a sound at 105 on Owens, Shauna? All right, have a good show.
Stand by T's tag. 2, 5.
Hey, the next thing I need from you, Lance Becker, is the Larry Brown
Start your move on jib. Bring up the lights. Set 2. Start your push. Mike's dissolve. Go.
Hey, you know what? That's pretty cool. We were
Easy,
just
easy,
watching
easy.
ourselves
Keep
in a little
blue.
box and then the big screen, and we're on like 2 networks.
Still trying to figure out how you got from over there to over
Change
here.
red.
You're fast.
I'm very quick. I'm very quick. Hey,
Animate
just
off.
in
Ready,
case you don't
camera
know, this
3,
is
red in the
SportsCenter,
glass.
and you know
Boom.
that guy, Chris Berman. I'm Linda Cohn, and yeah, you're watching
And a
us
little
on
left on 3.
ESPN2 right
Neil
now.
Foley,
But
he's gonna-
if you
he's
do
gonna
turn
vamp
to
here
ESPN,
after the hi,
you
hello,
can
so
see
don't
us
worry
behind
about it,
the
okay?
scenes as well.
We'll go into Owens
It's
sound.
almost like an
Quote
out-of-body
next.
You're going to have to split the
Yes, I
We're
feel
watching
it.
our show done by somebody
Yeah,
else
but
except it's
first
us.
I
Say
know
it
there was
again.
a
Is he
reason why it
back
was
there?
so exciting.
Remember,
No, he is not back here.
Okay.
there's no place.
Maureen.
Shall we start?
Go ahead,
Both
Wizard.
behind the scenes
Yeah.
and in the scenes.
Have a
Well,
great
behind
day.
the scenes in football,
no one's back.
we're getting
Ready,
set all
green,
the teams to
music
report
at 3
just
pages.
about all of them by
I-4
the end of the
sound.
month.
What?
And that means there's another season
when to
going
go to.
on. Some contracts being signed, some not.
Ready, green, and
Well,
music.
last year, Terrell Owens signed a 7-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. He
Take
certainly
green
lived up
music.
to year 1. Who can forget his performance in the Super
2
Bowl
more
off his
pages and
injury?
I-4
But
sound.
as
Added
threatening,
I-4
along with his
sound.
agent, Drew
We
Rose
come back
announced to
3
sit out.
red to
Today,
1
the Eagles
green.
president Joe Banner said if we were dealing with somebody who
good.
was looking at this logically and was going to come to a common sense conclusion,
Change.
you'd say he'd report to camp on time. But you're dealing with 2 people here who, frankly, don't
Stand
think
by
in
I-4
common
sound.
sense
One more
terms.
page.
Anything can happen.
Change.
They're not going to necessarily
Stand
do
by
what makes
I-4
sense.
sound.
Joe said that. Terrell Owens responded.
Mark Summer and Scott.
Roll I-4 check white.
Yes, Scott.
Flip mics.
Can you
105.
factor on A9, please?
You just got it on.
A9.
A9, Neil Foley.
Thank you.
All right, guys, more change.
All right, Boomer tag out of this. Linda leads to Larry Brown, Ronaldo not A9. Okay, then we go A9 on down the rest of the way.
Camera 3 to camera 1 I-1 sound follows. It's A9. Red Sox, White Sox. Out.
Hey, Jesse Stein, are you back in one play?
What's CSS Sports?
Not there yet. I'm trying to find him.
I need to keep an eye on. The Red Sox game is now tied. Uh-oh, not anymore. They just took the lead. 105. The White Sox just took the lead.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Nice job by Kurt Schilling.
There we go. Thank you.
Is it tied?
Scott Oldham. Yep, thank you.
5-5? Kurt Schilling. All right. Kurt Schilling just gave it up.
20 left. No outfield.
Matt Doyle, very nice job cutting this wherever you are. Turning this around. Boomer next.
Ready, camera.
Maureen, are we set for the rest of the segment?
Boomer, then
Mo?
Linda. 10.
Yes, I believe so.
Summer, are you?
It looks like what? Did they just take the lead, the A's?
Take 3, Mike, go.
Well, again, it's a little more than a week until the Eagles and Terrell Owens are
so
not
I'm all
reporting
set
to
right
camp.
now.
So yeah, well, we got 2. We just need to know where the highlight
It's
is.
pretty impressive. In
Gonna be
Philadelphia,
edited up,
both
too.
ways
No,
I don't
around
want Linda's name.
can get resolved, but it sounds like a war of words is not going to end.
Yes, for the Red
very
Sox,
soon.
yeah, if Favorite
Best
gets up
players
there.
in camp, but Terrell and
Linda's mic.
and
Little
Drew
looser
Rosenhaus
on
may have other ideas.
So Lance, you're good. You have tapes for you.
Take, go.
You have the
Now to
you
the
have the
NBA, it is
sound.
not your unusual
sound
rest
is
and
next.
relaxation
You got
getaway
the
for
A's?
Larry Brown in Long Island, New York.
right,
The
Rinaldi
long-expected
next.
meeting
Who?
between
Me?
the now
Cloutier.
unemployed head
You talking to
coach
me?
and Knicks general manager Isaiah Thomas
You got me now?
finally
Better now?
took place tonight in the Hamptons. While Thomas made no secret
Yes.
of his desire to fulfill Larry's one-time
did it.
dream
I'm on just
by
one
making
now.
him the Knicks head coach,
Okay.
there was no word if he
Changed it.
actually
All right, is
made
that okay?
Brown an offer. The Knicks plan no
All right.
comment.
We need to
until
confirm
Friday.
what the White
Tom
Sox
Rinaldi
highlight is
is
going
caught
to
up
be cut
with
up
the
to.
coach
is
Thursday
cut
afternoon.
Roll I-1, take track. Clipper Mike.
Okay, up to 5-5. Okay.
119.
119.
That's what he
Did it
said.
great, man.
Rangers A's
I
is
don't
not an
know.
HD highlight. Jack Obringer, thank you
Interrupting
very much.
SportsCenter to bring you this update with Gabe. As you recall, was babysitting for Reyna on the Red Sox-White Sox game is now tied.
Tied. Kurt Schilling gave up a 2-run double to tie it, and now it's going in the top of the ninth. David Ortiz coming to bat.
His ankle wasn't bleeding, though?
No bleeding ankle, but he wasn't pitching too well.
Got to be disappointing for Reyna, though. She worked so hard with creative services, tried to fancy up this thing, waiting for the game to end. Let's go to George now.
Let's talk to Mark Summer here, producing the show. How close were we to not getting that Terrell Owens tape?
The tape got in there about 15 seconds to go. So if I wouldn't have had it, we would have just done the quote, and then we would have done the Larry Brown stuff. But thankfully, sound was pretty good. We got it on. We had about 15 seconds to spare.
Chris Berman just ad-libbed there. Does he do that often?
He does, and he's great at it. And you're sitting at home, you probably couldn't tell.
Latest in the control room. Talk to you in a bit.
Now I think it might be.
All right, so everyone, nice job.
20.
Boom, you come out of this and you
Ready,
go to the
camera
Flip Saunders
three.
stuff, then you do the
Boomer's
graphic,
right,
and then
flag
Linda does
red in the
Inside
glass.
Sports Center.
I2 sound. Say the out again.
I'll look forward to it.
10 seconds on 3. Standard out cue.
Dream job.
Isaiah Thomas.
5.
Seconds. In East Hampton, New York.
Out is
Tom
Mike.
Rinaldi, ESPN.
Take 3. Go.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. On the
I2
flip
sound is
side,
next.
the Pistons flipped the switch very quickly
I2
on their
sound, a
Larry
wide full
Brown
screen
era,
of music.
and they hired their new coach. You might get a hint. Flip Saunders, late at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let
also
go
behind
there
him.
in February. Nothing flippant about Saunders' contract with the Pistons. 4 years, $20 million, with
Guys,
incentives
I wanna
that
look
could
at
add more
camera
than
one
$6
when we get
million
a
to it. Saunders'
chance.
track record is solid.
Stand by
9.5
I2
years
sound.
with
Looks
the
like we need to
T-Wolves.
head down a
He
little
went
bit there.
4-11 and 326 and helped
See a
make
little
them
bit
a
more
contender.
desk.
But now
Stand by
the
I2
Pistons
sound.
are expected to be more than just contenders.
Roll
No.
I2, take track.
As a
Here's
coach,
Mike.
you always bring in some of your
32.
your own
Faster and
philosophy
prompter.
and the way you
Let's
play. I
go.
think
32
Say time
here.
again.
I mentioned you earlier,
32.
it's
32,
important as a
wide
coach to
full
know
screen music.
and
Boomer's
understand the
Mike.
strengths of your team
To
and make sure that
23
full screen, I
inside.
forgot
Linda, long
He
punctuation.
should give DC
I got it somewhere.
And this team has always been known
I
as
got
a
it.
defensive team.
Yeah.
That's not going to
I got it. I got it. I got it.
But
Same
I
difference.
do feel that
10.
you know, offensively,
10 left here.
Wide full
there's
screen
some things that
music
I
and
can bring to
Boomer.
the table offensively.
Lose.
And I think we
5 full
No,
screen.
5
He's got full
seconds.
screen. You got inside.
And I look forward to that opportunity.
Wide music might go.
The Flip's got a good record. He's no Gerald.
I ready 23.
Those that have
Linda's
succeeded Larry
Mike.
Brown, and that's a long list and an
Ray,
interesting
my
list.
first count will be to
Randy Ayers
talent.
didn't last long with the Sixers the last time.
For break.
Larry Bird, you might have heard of him, did a great job with the Pacers. Bob Weiss, just named the Sonics coach. Nobody won with the Clippers. Roy Williams, whatever happened to him? Larry Farmer did a good job at UCLA. Donnie Walsh, that's the old red, white, and blue basketball with the
And
ABA
roll
Denver
23.
Nuggets.
Take.
Plenty more ahead. Boomer inside Sports Center with suspension
35,
looming. See how Kenny
35
Rogers handled the
seconds
red
to our
hot
tag.
A's. And hey,
Short break,
listen
now
up,
the
break
B's
up the
looking.
Mets. How New York pounded Jake Peavy and the Padres at Shea.
Is the Red
with
Sox
Boomer on the
over
show,
yet?
you know we're talking pigskin. We'll get his top 10
I got
plays of last
Rob
season
Mickle
in
going
the
down
NFL.
there.
Straight ahead.
Need to update
and
when we
what
get
about
there,
a coach
right?
who leads the team to a
Update
title
when
and then
we
to the
get
brink
there,
of
Red
another one the
Sox.
next year?
Update
We let
animation.
go.
Yeah,
Joe
okay.
Dumars gives us the answer.
10,
And
10 to
Sports Center's 50
punctuation.
States
Again,
and 50
first counts
days
to town.
tour lands in Alaska for a little bit of the
5,
Olympic spirit
4,
and a very late night
3,
of good old American baseball.
2,
Hey, don't go
1.
away.
Wide. Clipper Mike. 5, 4, 3 to break.
Manny
Roll
just
your
hit a home
break.
run.
Who did?
Manny just did a home run.
Nice.
Schilling gave up the lead.
1
Guys,
minute.
all right.
1 minute
Here's the
only.
deal.
1 minute
Guys,
break.
since the Red Sox game isn't
Red Sox,
over,
White Sox
and the
is not
Rangers
over.
game isn't over, correct, guys? Rangers game, Sam
What are we
Elton,
doing
not
here?
over.
I got the A's. I got A's Rangers.
All right, so here's the deal, guys. We're picking up with B5.
I was
Chris,
just wondering about you.
Chris, you do Astros, Nats.
Good?
Linda, you do Padres, Mets. Boomer does Dodgers,
Jesse,
Phillies.
is that you
There's
now?
no B11. I'm floating out B11.
Okay.
Are we doing
I'm
A's
sorry.
Rangers?
Do that
I
again.
know.
find
You
out
do
where
Astros,
they
Nats.
are, where-
Listen up.
Just
What
put it
we're
Red
doing
Sox
is
right now.
Astros, Nats with Chris,
Yes.
Padres, Mets,
Astros,
Linda.
Nats.
We're
Chris
that.
does
30
the
back.
Dodgers Phillies. No Brad
All right,
Penny.
guys,
Boom.
here we
Let's
go.
do
Figure
the
out
pump,
where they've
okay?
put
All right,
the
so
highlights.
Astros,
as
Nats.
they're
With
scripted.
you.
Coming
Nats,
in
Mets,
billboard,
Twins,
21. We'll have it
Dodgers,
online.
Phillies.
Jumping
No Brad Penny.
3, 4.
And then
B2 is out.
Yes, Tom McCarter.
And
Tom.
then-
Animated wrap, Astros Nationals to 23.
Good,
Jumping
just
down
do
to
it and get it
Astros
done. I
Nats.
don't
Are you
care
good
how
with
long
that, JP?
Okay, so after Padres Mets.
Wrap, 21 online.
Dodgers
Padres Mets.
2,
Dodgers
1, roll
Mets.
21 track.
Okay, babe.
Astros Nationals
Scott
are next. Jumping to B5. Blue to 23.
Thank
Boomers,
you.
Mike.
Rob Mickle, are you in one play?
Presented by
10 seconds.
American
Astros
Express.
Nationals.
My life,
I just
my
need to
car.
know what the highlight is. That the
And
Manny
impartial
on back there.
No, it's all
Blue
going
to
to be on the
23.
tires. I'm going to cut the whole highlight up to Manny.
White, blue, Mike, go.
So 50 states in
Everything up
50
to
days.
Manny.
It's a national
So
tour.
you're not
Speaking
gonna
of
need
which,
that.
the Nationals at home against the Astros. Brad Lidge
On that Red
with
Sox
a
side, they'll have
3-0
everything up
lead
to
after
Manny.
Oswald pitched brilliantly for 8 innings. One of the newest Nationals, Preston Wilson, back, gone. So all of a sudden a 3-0 lead in Washington. Houston
Second
is
element
3-2.
of the bump, 50
But
50
two
and
batters
Hey,
later, Brian
someone just told me. I
Schneider.
was just checking to see
Long
where
fly ball to
50-50
right, but
punctuation.
Jason Lane is there, and the
Padres Mets,
Astros win. It's to the Nationals.
All right, blue to 21 is next. Padres Mets.
With
Linda.
the idle Braves, Houston after a 15 and
I don't
30
know
start
what we're
is
gonna do.
34 and 16, and they're coming. They've won
Might
Might have
five
to
of the
regroup and we're
Freeze.
50-50.
Hey, could the Mets take
White,
advantage
blue.
and move
All right,
4.5
roll 21,
back?
Jake.
Well, you're
They had a
only 46
matinee
seconds.
hosting the
way.
Padres. Their pitching has been awesome. A 1.66
All right,
team ERA in the
Padres,
last
Mets
7 games.
next.
Kaz Ishii still in the rotation and looking to stay there. Eric Young on first. Ishii facing Mark Loretta. Young
Blue to
takes off for
22 is
second,
next.
and he is
Dodgers,
gunned down by
Phillies.
Ramon
Dodgers, Phillies
Castro.
next.
What a
Back to
throw!
Boomer.
Inning over. Bottom
Phillies
5,
next,
1
and
out,
Boomer
runner
does
on
the
Jake
bumps.
Peavy. Troubles against Castro. It's gone. His second home
You can
run of
kill
the
the golf
year.
highlight if you
2-run
have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna
shot.
have to.
Peavy awful, allowing
Dodgers,
7 earned
Phillies.
runs in 5
That
innings.
stinks,
Very
though.
rare for
You have
him.
the top
2
guy.
out.
Boomer.
Ishii strikes out Green. Mets win 12-0 to just 4.5
White,
out of
what's
four.
up?
blue, Mike. Roll 22, music.
All right,
what's
Odalis
up?
Perez. He's got a
34.
no working for the Dodgers in
You
Philadelphia
got the new
day game.
sound?
Guys, we're jumping
Lance
to
Banner
balls.
on
Can't be
NHL.
very
He's
good
not
next.
fit well lately, but Andy Chavez.
I 3 to
Now we
High
can talk
bounce
about
of
the A's.
Hannibal Metal.
The
Don't
A's
do
highlight.
that. Can't you read the signs for a base hit? And there.
The Rangers Athletics
The
highlight.
no-hitter is gone,
Yep.
but Jason
You
Michaels
got-
looking.
Sean, did you ever
Michaels
heard
throws
Kenny
back.
Howard
Rob
sound?
Drake
It's
throws
like
him out.
31 seconds,
7
I'll
innings
tell you
pitched,
that.
3
10
hits,
seconds.
no
Ready,
1 run,
X?
7 Ks per inning.
Insert.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Rollins against
Insert
reliever
X.
Wilson Alvarez.
5,
6-4-3 double
4.
play. The Dodgers win it 1-0. Perez's record now at
Bumps. Roll I 3,
5-5.
white music, Mike.
Two honest pitchers on the market. Jason Schmidt, is he on the market?
Six,
AJ Burnett, he
5,
seems to be on the
50.
market.
4,
Are they going
3,
somewhere or staying put?
2,
Find out what the
roll I
future
4,
holds
wide.
for two very important
9,
hurlers.
8,
And
by
7,
50 states in 50
6,
days.
Freeze
Jules
at
Verne
13,
did around the world in 80
4,
days.
4,
The final
3,
frontier, Alaska,
2,
the Eskimo Olympics and more.
1.
Yeah, both the NHL
Wide
things.
track. Roll your brake.
2, 1.
Those highlights are so
2:15.
short.
2:15.
All right, guys.
We have no scoreboard.
I don't know.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to do this segment as
We can
scripted.
actually
We're actually
say
going to do the same
something
as scripted. Boomer, just reminding you're throwing to sound on here, okay?
I mean, like, hey, the Astros are, and then the thing froze. I forgot. By the way, they're really.
We're still wiping
Boom,
breaks
you're
on-
just throwing to sound.
I'm sorry, what am I doing
You're
here?
just throwing to sound, no nickels.
No
starts
nickels?
With Gary
Right.
Bettman.
Do you
It
mind
starts with
putting-
Gary
So,
Bettman. How long?
so Chris and Mark, let me do a Bigweight Action 2005. Commissioner Gary Bettman today in Toronto. will
Yep,
be
that's
your-
fine.
Okay.
In Toronto. Hey, can I? Hey,
All right,
is it
we saw
possible
some- we
during
saw some
Alaska I can
highlights.
show
Yeah.
Boomer's
And
top 10?
just before your highlight started, as it started, it went to black. It's a blooper. We talked about that earlier. What do you do as an anchor when that happens?
Well, you know what? Sometimes you react to it, sometimes you don't. I chose not to react to it because I have faith in my director, Chris Ruskis, so I knew the picture would come right away. It was like a blink of the eye. If you would have blinked, you would have missed that if we went black for a split second.
All right, Chris, your highlight at the very end, it froze. Sometimes the highlights aren't cut long enough. What do you do then?
Well, first of all, it's on its way to Pluto. It's too late. There's nothing you can do about it. You've heard me say that before. Second is, you know, I got more to say. I'm sorry. No, I had to get out of there.
Really?
I thought it was interesting, but no, it's a quicker show than Once Upon a Time. You know?
Once upon a time, we had the score panels
It's all right.
at
It's
the end
a
of the
change. They
highlight.
do that in
It's
baseball
different.
tonight. This is different. You know,
Moves a-
ride the bike. You get back on it. Put it in gear 2 or gear 3, Stu.
Question. I see pink scripts. I see yellow scripts. Is the pink to match your outfit?
Very
No,
nice.
that is nice, but I don't think they planned it that way. I mean, pink, girl color, yellow, you know, generic.
The tie and the
Yellow
thing.
is what you read.
That's true.
Yellow is what each
Yellow
anchor
is what
reads.
that anchor reads. The pink is what the other person
The man
reads.
knows the show. That's
Yes,
why
he
they
does.
call it This Is Sports.
And then if there's no script, you look in the camera and
just
you
make
wing it,
something
Stu.
up.
Once again,
It's better to go without anything in the prompter if you have to ad lib than something in the prompter.
Absolutely.
That's not supposed to be there, right?
Their words aren't yours, and they're there, and they're just and you know what? That's why they play the games.
You guys are on television in 5 seconds.
Thank you.
What's name is on television now.
3, 2,
Yeah, I'm down here in screening with
wide
Matt
track.
Doyle.
Roll line 1
I
track.
think that irony is overused and misused, but it's got to be at least coincidence that you're from Wakefield, Massachusetts, and your Terrell Owens story took the place of the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's rather ironic, Kenny. I'd agree.
What happened? The feed came in late. You barely got it on the air.
Yeah, I came in about 10:40, 10:45, and then I got to run up to the edit room, edit it, lay some B-roll over it, and then hopefully have it make air in time. Luckily, it did, by the skin of its teeth.
You have a girlfriend, Gina. When she learns that you got the
Can it
story,
be?
she's going to say,
They're going to
you complete
drop
me.
the puck. This
Let's go to Shelley.
It's true.
Well, Reina's job continues. Manny Ramirez hits a home run in the top of the ninth. They take the lead. She's about used up all her note paper. I think it's probably about time for this game to be done. And you're gripping, I know that. How often does this happen?
Last thing
Quite often, you know, games
Game
will
7
change.
between the Lightning and the
late in the
Flames
game, we
Tampa
just got to
2003.
readjust the plan as we go along.
Will finally give way to
This has actually turned into a real entertaining highlight.
All right, great. Thanks. Back to the show.
Today in Toronto.
Line 2, take track. Clip his mic.
31.
31. Wide full screen music, then a quick wipe to jib. I3, Sot Vo. A to sound in the tower. Adding Boomer's mic, Chiclet music. Then we'll dissolve to 20. Actually, we'll take the 21 sound off of that. Way ahead of myself, though. Tell me total time again.
31 is total time.
Wide full screen
10
music, Boomer.
seconds.
10
Tied
seconds.
out. 10.
Great game. Tight out. Cheated hair.
It is
5.
what it is. And I think the players looking forward to getting back to a great
Wide music.
Top players are here.
Well, we told you about the vote tomorrow. Also, the draft lottery to determine this year's draft order happening tomorrow. Then you see the dates coming up, the buyout period. Remember, own free agents and 03 draft picks. Remember, you got to cut the roster by the salary by 2/3. A lot of guys going to be free agents, so to speak. Deadline for signing the 03 draft picks coming up. The entry draft at the end of the month in Ottawa. Free agents signing going to be a lot of different rosters. Good to have hockey back.
1.
At his mic. Go. Music.
Peyton Manning's record-setting
Ready, 21
season scored him in
sound. 4,
ESPY, but where does his
3,
achievement rank in our top
2,
10 plays of last
1,
season?
lay
We
out.
got to do it.
Roll 21, take track. 57.
Okay. 57 here.
Am I counting what?
Locators.
I'll call locator, that's it.
By the way, I know this song by
Set
heart.
I want
It's
sound
only day
with
5.
C. We're good on locator, John?
This song by Brian Adams.
All right.
Yeah. I know it by heart.
It's a Canadian singing about
You
it.
got all the other
There you
fonts.
go.
and just keep me
Well, I
honest
remember
with
Celine
all that
Dion,
stuff.
a Canadian singer. Once again, I'm everywhere.
30 seconds.
Okay, I'm a little confused.
Top plays, shot sheet.
Linda?
from Andy
Oh, wait,
Tillman.
yes, I've just got an important shot sheet. Pirates,
I'm
Rockies.
confused.
The world is waiting.
I'm watching SportsCenter, and
Yeah.
you're on SportsCenter talking about 50 and 50, but yet you're here. Okay, what's the deal?
All right, it's not you, Stuart. That is really true. We had to tape that early because you notice how I'm sort of like floating in space
Right.
with that kind of thing. So it took a lot of technical stuff that went right over my head, but I do what I'm told here.
Watching video right now of you taping that, and sometimes we have to do that. We have to tape things beforehand, not because we're scared of messing up, but because what?
Roll 23. track
Because, well, they tell us to.
Which is the biggest
They say be down there at a certain time. But actually, the technical stuff, you know, you have to like do what the director says. They say they have to do special things. That screen behind me there was all blue. They also told me, Linda, when you do those, do not wear blue. If you wear the color blue, you will not come out. The camera will see right through you, so to speak.
Ooh,
exactly.
ooh,
So,
not-
you know, that could be an
It's
issue.
a family network.
That's what I'm talking about.
We
So
don't want any of
I
that.
do what I'm told.
All right, boom. We're going to take a break on This Is Sports
You know
Center.
what, though? I'm realizing this. We got Sam Donaldson reporting here. We got Cokie Roberts. I mean, we got this covered like it's Washington.
So do us a favor. Can you throw us to break?
15. I know.
This is SportsCenter. This show will continue with this anchor
Thanks.
after this.
Well, dog right here, man.
10, okay.
So as Chris Berman tells us, there's plenty to be
Roll
proud
line
of.
2, track
Which one?
dissolve.
215.
2 outs away. Hey, if this Red Sox game is over, boom, I might just roll
50
it.
and
I
50
might roll it out
continues
of
from
the
Alaska. We got
segment.
Kenny Mayne with the special Alaska alum.
me on camera?
Kenny?
I got That's Lonnie Harrell, Fairbanks, Alaska. Your dad was military up there?
Correct, that's right.
So did you come from Alaska to ESPN, or did you have a stop in between?
I had a stop in between. I went to school at Howard University, and then I made my way up here.
I think some of the states feel a little forgotten as far as big-time sports. Is it kind of a proud moment to have Alaska represented up there?
It's a very proud moment. I'm happy. I told everybody earlier today and all this week that everything needs to just shut down for this 6 minutes that Alaska's going to be on 50-50.
All right, good luck ice fishing. Let's go back to Stuart.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Now, Steve Levy's segment from Alaska was taped, pre-taped. We'd like to say pre-tape. It's really redundant. If it's pre, it's already taped. Steve Levy joins us live now. Steve, in the great Northwest. How are you, man?
I'm good. All is well here. Greetings from Fairbanks, Alaska.
From the 50th state. Steve, what goes into taking SportsCenter on the road?
Well, Stu, as you know, it's an entirely different animal. I mean, it's not as if I just showed up with one cameraman. In fact, we've got a staff of about 30 different people just working on the ESPN show 50 and 50 from Alaska. Only 5 of us came from Bristol, so that's 25 others we've picked up from around the country to help us with our production. In fact, Fairbanks didn't have a television truck big enough for our needs, so we had to go to Anchorage and have them drive the truck here to Fairbanks. Take a look. This is not exactly the cushy control room like you people have back in Bristol. There's Lee and Peter, our producer and our director. Then in the tape room, that's Dan, our PA. They've only got 3 tape machines they can use as opposed to, say, 10. You know how they hate to put us on camera, Stu? Well, the reason they have to put us on camera remote is because they need time to get ready, queue up the next tape. And there's the audio booth there. Not exactly the high-rent district, clearly, as you can see. These are tight quarters, but everybody's working hard and having a great time, and it's really refreshing. You know, when you're in the studio, it's always 72 degrees and perfect. Out here on remote, on the road, things are a little different, can get a little dicey.
Well, Steve, I wanted my 2 daughters to watch just so they could, you know, be shown that Santa Claus does exist. What kind of difficulties, though, do you face in Alaska?
Well, first of all, we've had regular difficulties that every business person who travels encounters. For example, for the last 2 days, I haven't been able to get into my own hotel room. The lock on the door is busted or something along those lines. But that, you know, any business person who travels might encounter that. But the teleprompter, Stu, that we shipped from Bristol here to Alaska, the glass on it broke. So take a look. See, that's not really a teleprompter. That's a huge television monitor. Normally, the prompter reflects the words over the lens, so I can look exactly at the lens. There's Mike Pinkowski. He's normally our computer expert in Bristol, but here he's been forced into the role of running the teleprompter. So that's another thing here on the road. You have to do it all. So the glass broke while it was traveling out here, so we had to improvise. And as usual, the ESPN staff, the people behind the scenes, they make us look good and make it look easy, Stu.
Steve, what event are you covering there in Alaska?
Right now, you can hear behind me going on. It's been going on since Wednesday. They had the opening ceremonies. This is the 44th annual World Eskimo Indian Olympics. And as you'll see in some of our SportsCenter pieces, you know, there's no high jump, there's no races, no basketball. You got to see the toe kick, the grease pole walk, Stu. The ear pull has been a traditional favorite here as well. So we got a lot of interesting things. This is not your typical Summer Olympic Games.
All right, Steve, listen, man, I just got an iPod for my daughters for Father's Day. Can you go to Santa and tell them I want the thing that you can stick it in and get the big sound? Do that for me, man. I appreciate it.
The really cool thing about that, Stu, is if you fill out your name and address, they'll mail it from the North Pole, and your daughters would get a postmark that says North Pole. Pretty cool stuff.
All right, Steve, we appreciate it, man. Hit me up with Santa. Hey, we're coming back on This Is SportsCenter after the break.
I do to you when you were behaving poorly.
What is white man against native people?
Sox highlight, Mo.
6 lefty is the AL starter in the
Reina?
All-Star game.
Yes.
Mark Burley.
And Jason Cloutier.
Trot Nixon.
Nice shot by her.
Hey, how long is the cross on the Red Sox, Rob Mickle?
Then the score 2-1.
Hey, Tom McCarter.
Paul Konerko to left field. Back.
What's the,
I'll tell you, they juggled them.
22nd of the year.
Cloutier juggled a real nice job on these. Juggling all the stuff.
Edgar Renteria.
They did a good job getting
And he
turned
hits
around.
it to center field. Aaron Rowland.
So,
Out of this, we have a
Off the
crossroad.
glove, Johnny
of the final
Damon
out.
scores.
Schilling strikes out
4-2 White Sox.
Lower third
Okay.
swirl
Did you
over.
tell Jason and
26,
Raina good
White
job?
wide
Back
full,
single for
music
David Ortiz.
continues.
Off
22 will follow that.
11
That's with Linda. It's the bumps.
You can go longer if you want.
I had
up to
13.
16.
11? Sure.
Big man Ortiz
Call the
and
crossroad.
off
11.
the glove of Iguchi. Damon scores again. The ball gets away from A.J. Brzezinski. We're tied at 4, and the Red Sox take a 5-4 lead. But Kurt Schilling for a 2-inning save.
26.
Joe 6 feet from the edge. Creedy.
We will take the
Doubles
26
to right
when we
center.
get there.
Aaron Rowan scores. Tied at 5. The Never Say Die White Sox. So
30
Schilling
left here.
coughs it up in
30
the 8th.
left.
But
To 26 crossroad.
Manny Ramirez.
Again, music
to
continues.
Creedy in
Score
foul
goes over
territory.
26, wiping wide full.
And
And then to
20
C
seconds.
bumps. Music's on the clip.
oh boy. Unfortunately,
said
that
Manny
ball was
Ramirez,
taking
right?
him
15.
higher. And next pitch, you know what's going to happen. Manny Ramirez
seconds.
makes
Manny
him
Ramirez.
pay.
Late shot.
So a
26.
sloppy night in the field for the White Sox. It's now
And
6-5, but they're not
4,
done.
3,
Because the bottom of the
2,
ninth,
roll
Kurt Schilling
26,
trying to
take.
go with 2 innings
13. Schilling's
save
you're out. Ready,
13.
X?
against
X to
Carl
Y.
Everett.
X to Y.
Insert.
Fouls it off,
And
5,
5.
4,
and he.
3.
I think we're supposed to
2,
show the next
and
pitch,
wide
which you would
wide.
strike him out. But at any rate, the Red Sox win.
You're
on the
next
count
with
of
the
6-5.
Well,
These
that's great.
things happen on live television.
Stand by to wipe to
And for the first
22.
time in
Music's
history,
on the
I'll show
clip.
you,
Add Linda's
they lost
mic.
the
Rob
first
Mickle,
game
we'll
of
have a talk after the
6
show.
series in a row. But the first game of this 4-game set at the
You got
White
to play?
Sox.
You have to play?
Boston
No.
wins
Should
it.
we go to it?
Entertaining game.
No, it's not cute.
Bumps, Linda.
And roll 22, wide
And an
track.
entertaining highlight as well.
We threw that
Greg
curveball
Maddox
at you,
needed only
boom.
6 Ks on
26.
Thursday to join
That's
the
right,
exclusive
tag,
3,000
first counts
strikeout
to
club.
talent.
See why it wasn't to be in Cincy. Hey, what
That's
always
good.
follows a
15.
benches
That was
clearing
funny.
ball? You got it.
right,
Suspensions.
where is
Find
the
out who's going
Soriano
to sit
game?
and for how
10
long after
seconds.
last weekend's Tigers-Royals rumble.
Stand by
and
your
Lance
tag.
Armstrong is heading into the home stretch of the Tour de
5,
France and his
4,
career.
3,
See why it looks like nothing
2,
can stop him now.
1. Wide track, clip mics in 5, 4, 3. Roll your break.
Beauty of the server.
2, 1.
That,
The server.
2 minutes. 2
I
minutes.
knew exactly what.
All right, here's what
Like-
we're doing.
Sunday night. Here the guy's running in, but he's
In
not
bumping.
pitching
Okay,
yet.
D1.
D1, we're
Right.
going
Blue
to
rejoin
D6
to
on
21.
down.
Huh?
After D1, Linda,
Yes.
we're going to D6 on down.
Why do you have
What's that?
3, 4
After
there?
D5 is
D1.
out. After Tour de France, we go right to D6. Royals Tigers
D2
fight.
through D5,
We go all the way
load
down.
out.
We're not doing the
Blue
twins.
to 21. Blue rejoin
Right.
Tour de
Not
France
doing the
21.
twins.
It's
No
both on
twins.
both.
Twins
Down
out,
23
no
to
respect.
26.
No twins.
That's Linda.
No Johansson
But we are doing the
Right.
Cubs, right?
Then
You know
we're
what?
jumping
You know
down.
what? Check
No,
that.
you got Dumar.
No,
Check
maybe
that.
we're
We
doing
should do the
Bill
twins.
Davidson
This
with
is
the
what we'll
upper
do. We'll
left.
do the
Talking
twins.
about. And
We'll
Alright,
blow off
cancel that.
Royals, Indians.
Well, it's up to you.
They had the ejection in that
Yeah,
game.
we got to do that. You're right, guys. Excellent call. All right,
you.
so here's what we're doing. D1 through D3,
Red,
and then
white.
D6 on down,
Like a
okay?
pickup
D1
basketball.
through D3 and
Skins,
D4 are
shirts.
out. B3 and B4 float out.
I'm sorry. Do it again, Bird.
Summer Scott.
Do it
Yes,
again,
Scott.
Bird. Twins, yes. No lead-in, just direct.
Against Houston Street.
Just flat out. All right, here's the deal. Let me just tell everyone. Linda, you're doing the tour. Boom, you're doing D2 and D3. That's Twins Tigers. Off of that, Linda, you take the Royals Tigers fight full screen, and then Boom does Cubs, Linda does Cards, then Linda comes on camera and throws to Dumars and Schwartz, okay? Capiche?
Yeah, D7's in. That's important.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, no lead-in for the on camera.
Yeah, you got it, Boom, you got it.
Just yes or no?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right, it's short.
Yep.
What the
Can I-
heck is Bird telling?
Mark, can
Yes,
I
there
ask you
is a lead-in,
something?
or yes,
Brewers and
There is a lead-in. What's that, Linda?
He does Cubs Reds, and then I do Brewers
Brewers
Cards.
Cards,
What happened
and
with
then
that
you
highlight?
to the
I
March
think
Sports.
Yeah.
it was the
Okay.
game ended about
Excellent.
30 seconds
Brilliant.
before we went on the air.
This game could be ending right now.
Man, I'm trying to
Hey,
slap
Rangers A's is over. Do we have the highlight
Yeah, this
ready?
is always
which is always a strike.
How much
you
time
come.
till we come back?
Well, I figured I knew what happened at the
All right.
end. It was a strikeout. We just didn't see
Someone's-
it.
all right.
See, it's great. America has to take our word for
All
it.
right, that's
All
what
right,
I'm
we're going to
do.
go to George Smith while I get out of their way.
First, Tour de France.
Mark, we had a problem with the highlight. What went on?
Well, we went to a crossroad of the last out, and it was supposed to be a Schilling strike at Everett, but they showed a foul ball. So in the room, the wrong play was queued up. Happens, it's live TV. We had fun with it, and hopefully we'll get them better the rest of the show.
No heads will roll, though.
Not yet. There'll be a post, though, and there'll be some heads rolling.
2 minutes before that highlight ran, the game ended, and it got on that quickly. That pretty typical?
Yeah, it did. It did. It's pretty typical.
Here
We
it
turn
goes.
things around 1, 2, 3, and that's what makes it so good. But you live by the sword, die by the sword, and sometimes you get burnt, and we did.
Okay, that's the latest
Did you
here.
get that? He's okay for an old
Yeah,
man.
not bad.
All right, he finished the stage at 4 hours, 48 minutes, and 54 seconds. Spain's Marcus Serrano would make his way through the crowd and lead the final stretch. Serrano would look back to see, hey, he's all alone. He wins the stage. Lance Armstrong remains in the yellow jersey. He leads by 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Remarkable as Lance is on his way to his 7th straight Tour de France title.
2, take, go.
Magnifique.
Hey,
Last year, Minnesota Jones Montana was almost
22,
unbeatable,
Twins,
even in the
Tigers.
postseason.
Yes.
Teams remember one another
Out
AL
of this
Central.
to do-
This season, though, it's
Hey, out of
Oye
this, everyone, I
Kamawat
wanted
for
to beat
Santana.
Lose the
Twins
key.
Staring
Ready,
up at the White Sox.
22. Okay,
11
ready,
games back
22.
beginning of the night. Twins are at the
Roll
Tigers.
22,
and here we go,
take
and the Twins
music.
got off to
Linda,
a big
I wanted
start.
to be 3
Got
and
older,
B4 out of
managing
this.
in place
I wanna
of the
do-
suspended Ron
I wanna
Gardenhire.
do-
Bottom of the
Yeah,
fourth,
but I
the
want-
Twins
oh,
at
no,
6-1.
Soriano.
Greg Monroe
Linda, I did
hits
this
a
interview
home
with
run
Kenny
to
Rogers
left.
on camera.
Holder thinks it's foul.
Can you roll up to Neil Foley
Ball
to the
looks
on
like it
camera?
went foul.
Do you have the Kenny
Well, it might be
Rogers?
foul,
all right.
but it's ruled a
All
home
right,
run.
we're doing Kenny Rogers
Then I have
next.
Sonia from
Linda, you
Connecticut
got me?
ejects Brad Radke for arguing. Home
You go,
run is
Linda?
11th of the
Kenny
year,
Rogers
Monroe.
next.
But the Twins still lead 8-3 in the
And then I'm
top
going
of
to
the
cross with
7th.
Soriano with the chance for the cycle.
And there, you're out. And
You killed the Ambo?
you're
The Spur
still
Ambo?
out.
Yes. Yes.
Meanwhile, here we go.
Yep, Maureen.
8-3.
So, Linda, out of
Chris
this interview, you're on camera. And then you're
throws
going
a
to do the
hairy
highlight.
wild pitch.
Okay.
Torrey
and out
Hunter
of the
scores
highlight, you're
5
gonna do
wild
the fight.
pitches in the game. The
Okay?
Twins win it 10-5.
Linda, on camera next.
Hey, tomorrow Kenny Rogers will take
All right.
the stage.
Are you going to crossroad the
plead his case to baseball
Soriano
commissioner
facing
Bud
Houston
Selig. The
Street, right?
subject,
That's going to be
of
a
course,
crossroad.
is 20-game
Okay?
suspension and $50,000 fine for shoving 2 TV
Dave
cameramen
Carabell, what's
last
up?
month. Rogers appealed that ruling by the commissioner.
Linda has
He's
what?
hoping for a penalty
No, I
reduction.
never have it.
The 40-year-old lefty is facing
Nope.
misdemeanor assault charges.
Highlight.
And he was in action against the
All right, good.
A's.
Thank you.
What's next?
Making his last start before his appeal. Scoreless,
down.
very
Well,
first
were we
batter,
talking about
Jason
crossroad?
Kendall. Right
There's a
to him.
crossroad. Where's
And
it,
then
Rob Mickle?
Rogers finishes
For
the
this
play.
highlight?
He went
Where
6,
is
allowed
it?
8 hits.
25. We got to
For
cue up
this
to the right
highlight?
play.
Still
For this
scoreless 2-1
highlight?
for Texas.
For
Joe
this
Blanton,
highlight?
Yep,
Alfonso Soriano.
Yep. And then we're doing D6 on
And with
down.
Soriano's speed,
Who
he's
caught
going to
it?
turn that
So you're
into
good,
a
21
triple.
Cubs,
And
right.
2 runs
Give me
will
on.
come
Okay.
in. Mark
Crossroad
Teixeira and Hank
25.
Blanton scored to make it 2-1
Soriano,
Texas.
home
Score
run.
3-0
Roll
with
over
420
cycle.
Teixeira.
Is that
Then we're
what's
jumping
next?
down to
It's deep, such a
D6.
lethal
We're
hitter.
going to wipe to
Jake Payton,
I1.
the
We're staying with
catch at
Linda.
the
You're going to
wall.
change your music, and then I'll need that
Good
full
stuff
screen.
by the Oakland outfielder. Top of the 8th tie game. He's
10,
2-1.
ready,
Cameron Lowe
25.
pitching, and
Music
Payton
continues.
on D and offense. The RBI
5,
single. Here
4,
comes Bobby Crosby.
3,
Put the A's up
2,
at the moment.
roll 25,
Bottom of the
take.
ninth, same
How
score.
long?
Soriano
19.
needs a home run for a cycle.
I1 is
Houston
next for you.
Street
Music
on the
change.
mound.
Staying
It
with
is
Linda.
deep.
The Y full screen music
Mark
continues.
Kotsay is
Remember,
going
don't keep that in too long on
and
Y.
Makes a great catch.
A's win
Can you
6-4.
believe how Oakland is
5,
playing?
4,
They take out Texas
3,
6-4.
2. Roll I1. White music. Stay in
The
Linda.
rulings have come down for this ugly
Key
bench-clearing
it.
brawl between the Royals and Tigers last weekend in Detroit.
Lose,
the man
change
who
Y.
sparked the melee, Kansas City
Y full
pitcher
screen is next.
Bruneldes
Music continues. Then
Hernandez
blue to
got the
21.
worst of it,
Cubs, Reds,
suspended
Boomer.
for 10
Change
games.
to 18. 10 seconds to the
Hernandez
freeze.
says he's going to appeal and says he plans to start Friday night
Freeze in
against
5,
Toronto no matter
4,
what. Manager Buddy
3,
Bell gets 1 game.
2.
Both were fined as well. Also planning to appeal Kyle Farnsworth, who got a 6-game suspension, and starter Jeremy Bonderman.
White
slapped for
blue
5.
music. Go. Roll
The Cubs
21.
at the Reds. Greg Maddux 6 strikeouts
34.
away from being the 13th man ever to get 3,000.
Good job, Rob
Against
Mickle, Scott
Adam
Carr.
Dunn here. He
Great
got 4 in the day,
communication.
so he's
What?
2.998.
He's going as scripted, but we got a
Great
problem.
Greg Maddux. Bottom of the
3
eighth.
minutes
William
heavy.
Mulvaney.
Maureen.
Tying run the third. Roberto Novoa. And Novoa constricts
Now it
a
says I have under
ball.
Yeah, but you
Larry
gotta
Van
look
over
at
the
where
ump
we
says,
are.
Pena, you're home. We're tied at 5. And 3 batters later with the bases loaded, Austin Kearns up the middle.
Can I float
Javier
out the
Valentino had
Piston
2
stuff?
homers. Sean
Do we
Casey
tease the
scored.
Piston stuff?
Reds go on to beat the Cubs 1-5.
You know what? I got to float that out. I got to
Had a
float
home
that
run
out.
Cincinnati.
My God.
Brewers looking to
All right,
split
we're going
their
to the
4-game
bump
set in
next.
St. Louis.
Bump
Jason
is gonna
Marquez
be
already
next.
in trouble in that first inning. It's 1-0
Sliders out too.
Milwaukee. Carlos Lee in the box. Up the middle, Lee goes. That'll
Bumps
score
are
Lyle
next.
Overbay.
Bumps loaded,
That's an
I2,
RBI for
I3,
Lee.
Joel.
78th of the
Is he
year for
floating
Lee.
them?
Now tied with Derek Lee and Albert Pujols for the lead in that department. Russell
Who's got
Bryan.
bumps? Boomer.
No doubt, with a home run.
How long is this again?
Next.
Take another look. We're going to
I got
circle
no
the
time.
ball
There's
at
nothing I can do.
458 blast off the scoreboard. Brannion's ninth of the year, and Brewers quiet the Cardinals by the score of 12.
Roll I2, Why Music Mike?
Well, we've already talked football at the head of the show. It can't come soon enough for yours truly and many of you. Before looking ahead, let's take a look back at the most amazing
roll
plays.
I3, wide.
10. We never do that here.
Never.
The top 10
Stand by
here,
your
amazing
break.
plays last
Five,
season. Plus,
4,
LA, are the Dodgers
3,
ready to become big-time
2,
sellers in the trade
1.
market?
Roll your break.
Or
Wide.
2, 1.
2:15.
A lot of changes.
2:15
All right, listen up, guys.
break.
All we're doing this segment is we're coming back with E6.
right.
That's a cold hard fact.
Segment.
E6
Already
and
on
the bumps.
tape.
Hey, I'd like to have Boomer do the bumps, okay? Can you give Boomer the copy for the
Yeah, I got
bumps?
it. What is it? Hard.
So cold hard facts and
I
the
got it.
bumps, guys.
Pink, though.
No, I'm sorry.
Pink.
I can't.
Are you
I'm
ready
so
for
heavy,
some?
there's no other choice.
Coming right
Sure?
up to 21
Yeah.
seconds.
Back. Did you take a break?
Sports Center.
All right, as long as all the times are right.
What's that, Jeff?
See, the problem with the bumps, they rate two.
All right, guys. Hey,
We're doing
Boom, do you have your
E6 on
shot
down.
sheet for your top 10
Cold hard
NFL
facts,
players?
True, it's like
21 bumps.
I know.
I1,
No, it's
I2.
Yeah,
When you have a 50-50
Who's gonna get
situation,
traded? We'll
check
have
that long one.
Okay, we're here with Mo. Tell me what happened. We were real heavy. That means too many stories,
10 plays,
not
it's
enough
like-
time. How do you make the decisions to cut things?
Well, here's what happens is T.O.
Well,
sound
so I'm
came
doing
in
the
late.
bump,
We added
right?
that to the show. Then we had some highlights with good games that ended late and they went longer, so you got to show them. So then as we start getting down to the bottom of the show, we got to figure out what we're going to cut.
Yanks Angels
He's got a huge
coming
chunk
up.
of time. And one big thing we had to decide whether it be the top plays, which we don't. It's the key factor of our show. You can't kill
Do I have to go
a sponsored
walk
segment,
to
so
the-
we had
no,
to
not yet.
kill the Pistons on, which you already covered the story earlier in the show.
To the tower.
Hour of power.
Let's talk to Mark here and find out. Mark, let's find out from you. How hard a decision was it to cut some of these things?
Well, it was a hard decision. I mean, I cut the Rockies Pirates highlight, the Marlins Blue Jays. I cut a Pistons Mark Schwartz with Joe Dumars, which the 1 o'clock will run. I cut a Royals Indians highlight. I mean, we just got
George,
so
the
heavy.
animal
The Red
Smith.
Sox game, I had slide in for a minute 30. It went 2:40. The A's game, Rangers went heavy. The whole Owens thing. But, hey, the right choices were made. I mean, the Red Sox game was great. Schilling blew the save. Manny hit the home run. Schilling got the save. I'm a little biased, Mo. And just all the things that happened. But I think it's a better show. I mean, you can't go wrong. I'd almost love to show the Owens. I'd love to almost show the Owens bite again later. But I think we made the right decisions. 50 and 50 is taking a little time tonight. But it's a great thing we're doing. So I think the right decisions were made. But ask Mo, because if she fires me after the show, then we made the wrong
All
decisions.
right, we'll talk about that later. We'll check back in with you. Let's go to a break. We'll be right back.
Thanks. Dave Carroll.
In the summer.
Welcome back to This is Sportscenter. Just a FYI for you, all of us who do this show, we've all been sports fans and sports athletes our entire lives. We are blessed to do this on television, talk about sports, and get paid for it. Now for an update from the newsroom, let's go to Sal Palantonio.
Hey, Stu, I'm in the Baseball Tonight pod with Larry Bowa. A couple of Philly guys hanging out.
Yeah, that's right.
And you were watching Kurt Schilling in his closer role against the White Sox. What pitch is working for Kurt right now?
Well, he's throwing some good split fingers. He still doesn't have his velocity back for his real good fastball. They're building up to that. He's coming along. I think he's going to be starting here in about 10 days.
And you're on deck for Baseball Tonight at midnight.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Houston Ball Club and the Washington Nationals. Both teams headed in the opposite directions.
That's the latest from the newsroom. Let's go to George Smith in the control room. George, go ahead.
Well, Sal, you saw just how difficult some of the decisions are to run tapes or not to run tapes, to kill highlights or not to kill them. You saw the process that just went through. I'm assured by Mark Summer that some of those highlights that did not make the 11 will be on at 1 a.m., so stay tuned for that and the overnight show. Shelley, let's go to you.
George, one highlight that did make the show was Raina's Red Sox-White Sox game. Raina, the control room had you slated for a minute 30. You went 2:40. Nobody's screaming at you yet. Why is that?
No, it was, a great ball game, and it had great video. It came down to the end, and Kurt Schilling ended up striking out the last batter. So when, you have a good game, you need to give it its justice. So we got the extra time, and it went, it couldn't have gone better.
All right, thanks, Raina. Let's go back to the show.
Look at Randy Johnson.
Good.
Look like he may have.
Well, this is part of the show anyway. Raina's a loose cannon, and she needs to be controlled. I'm with Ron Carson. He was the babysitter on the Rangers-A's game. Alfonso Soriano needed a home run, and he didn't do it. And how bummed out were you when that happened?
Really bummed.
He's down, but he's going to stay with it. He's a new guy here, and he's very zealous. Let's go back to Stewart.
Player. In 98, Melvin Levitt's
Yes, I
last
should look at
second
this.
dunk up along inbound helped Cincinnati beat Duke.
Well, we're going to Alaska.
What
Going to
happened?
Alaska. Better hurry up.
You ever been to Alaska?
What happened? Why don't I hear
It's one of the
anything?
8
Oh,
states I've
are we in the
not been.
break?
You've not been to 8.
I've been to
where is
42
everything?
states and I've
Where-
been to 8.
where's the show?
But through the magic of Sports Center,
Where's our
I'm
show?
going to be at all of them this next
Where?
50 days.
How interesting is it when we go to these tape segments for these, 50 and
We have
50,
break?
for us to watch them?
I think it's great. I mean, I'm learning about each
great.
state. I know that sounds really corny.
No.
I know.
I learned a lot about Iowa the other day that I didn't know.
You know what? You know what, Stu? And we talked about it Sunday night. We were at Fenway to kick it off. It reminds me of SportsCenter in the '80s a little bit, where we're kind of bringing it out to. Okay, so there's a rodeo, a stampede in Idaho. That's great. That's big for everyone out there. The canoe race in Maui. I've been to that beach.
Yes.
You know, that stuff's fun, and they're all excited. I think it's great. We're bringing it home.
Where are you going next, Lynn?
I'm going to Mississippi. I'm looking forward to it. A week from today, Stuart, I'll be there meeting the people in a county fair.
I'll be in Rhode Island at a regatta on Monday. Kenny Mayne, at some point in time, is going to Oklahoma to a prison for some steer rope lassoing. Yeah.
There's a line there that they're not going to let me say.
That will be a main event.
Hey, Chris, it's
just over this it should be off on time, barring Summer's time on 140.
I can only pray. How long is the tower video? How long is the tower video, Shauna?
How long is that flight?
We're going to talk with Chris here, the director of the show. Tell me how you think things have gone so far.
Pretty good. No problem. Lots of changes, but we're doing all right.
Biggest problem you saw tonight?
All right, I'll go with that.
That's what I'm sure. The wrong highlight of the Red Sox tape, right?
Me.
Summer, let me talk to you. Good. I apologize. It wasn't you.
I'll take the blame for that.
Philosophy on highlights on the show.
My philosophy on highlights is I want to give America what they want to see. They want to see the best highlights, the best plays. They want to hear the great sound bites. They want less than me. But I want to give the people what they want, and they want highlights, scores, breaking news, and I think we did that tonight.
Quick question. Do you have a Red Sox bias?
I do have a Red Sox bias. I'm a big Red Sox fan. And last year was great, but they need to come back this year and do it again.
New Yorkers phone calls to you. Let's go to Kenny Mayne. Kenny.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming to me when I wasn't ready. But come down this hall here and go fast. I took off my shoes because my ankle goes, no, it'll work. Keep coming this way. This is the communications room. I really don't know what goes on in here, but they invited me in here, and they seem like good guys. Guys, what happens in the communications room?
This is all the communications for the whole plant. We've got 1,000 telephone lines, 1,000 intercom ports, all this stuff going on right now. If I pulled dispatch, we'd lose your mic.
Go ahead and do it.
I don't think the director would be too happy with it.
All right, we'll update you later. We're going to go to break right now and try to make money to stay on the air another 18 minutes.
I'm not doing this.
About 160 miles south of the Arctic Circle. So
20?
there really is about 22
We might have to cheat them a little bit.
Big development in the Angels-Yankees game. Garrett Anderson hit what might have been a home run or some sort of obviously extra bases ball. He was held up at third because a fan interfered with the ball. The Yankees still lead. Charlie here was called off the game, is now scrambling to make the highlights to make the A's, the first section of baseball tonight. So we're not going to talk to him because we don't want to interrupt him. Let's go to Sal.
Shelley, I'm on the other side of the newsroom now at the 1 o'clock show pod with the producer Leah Vallette. And Leah, what are you guys going to lead with in the 1 o'clock show?
Well, we're going to kind of take it from the 11, kind of take their lead, even though we don't like to listen to Mark Summer usually most of the time. T.O., it's big news.
What a shock.
Yeah, what a shock, right? Everyone loves to hear T.O., and every time he opens his mouth, it's good stuff, so.
You got Josh Bernstein here, your coordinating producer. Who are your two anchors?
Stan Verrett and Matt Weiner, the A-team. Okay. So we're ready to go.
All right.
We basically, the 11 is kind of like the setup men.
Oh.
And the 1 a.m., we kind of like close it down. So we're like the Trevor Hoffmans.
Oh, very nice. Okay,
so.
for a person from San Diego?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
All right. Let's go to Stu. Back to you, babe.
Thanks a lot, Sal. I'm still in the studio, but I'm over here in the research area. Now, I'm just going to say this. ESPN SportsCenter would not be what we are without people like David Carabello. I can call this guy and say, David, I need how many times Homer Bush has ever homered and how many homers have homered in the major leagues. He'll have it in 30 seconds. What's your job during the show?
Just to make sure the anchors know everything that's going on. I mean, where games are, when games are over, what they need to know about the game. Like Curt Schilling tonight, Boomer, just let Boomer know that, he's what he's done as a reliever. His 5th relief appearance, stuff like that. Just, the facts that they, should background stuff, for a game. When games go final, I usually, get them a little write-up of the game, when I do myself. So, what's happened in the game.
And it's quick.
Quick.
And you never ever make a mistake like tell an anchor that there's 60 states in the United States instead of 50.
Only did that once.
And like a moron, I read 60 states. Let's listen into what's going on in the show now.
Tower of Pisa? Where are we going?
Look.
It's good.
Play I2.
Where do we stand for this?
You are right on this mark right here, sir.
Don't set focus yet.
Huh?
Re-Q I2. You want him to read it?
Where's the?
If he's on his mark, you can truck right.
Hey, Nancy Devaney, Paul Wilson, and Ira Fritz, the bumps, the tower bump.
Minute 30 back.
What? You just rehearsed this?
They say this is the tower.
Right on one.
Tell Stu to get off.
Did he Moss enable it? Because it's not in the rundown.
Guys, we're going to rehearse this real quick.
From your waist down. And it used to be jeans, shorts.
Well, no. We wore shorts in the early '80s until one wise blank director decided to take the bump shots and show our legs, and the memo came out: no more shorts. He ruined it for everybody.
What do you need?
You know I wore shorts.
What do you need? 1 minute back.
All right, I
Are you
have
going to be
one
off on time?
question
It's a
here.
scary question. I think so.
Okay.
We'll go with
Okay, I got
X,
the bump.
and we cross to Z.
Where's the monitor so that I can actually voice over
Then we roll in top
Oh, so what
plays,
happens?
I3, transitions on tape.
No,
Is
that's
it both
fine, but
side,
how
both
about when I
side, both?
actually...
yes.
Well, that'd be great if I could... I'm good, but I'm not that good. Here are
Guys,
the
get
best
him a
10
monitor
plays,
so
and
we
I
can
can't see
these.
them.
Christine? Okay, good.
Make it up.
So, Eric,
Can you
it's
preset
key.
camera 30 seconds back?
If you don't get out of the way,
Can you come any wider
Vikings
on camera
will lose
one?
every game this year
There
just
you
because
go.
of you.
Push in a little bit from there.
Last time you were in the studio,
Push
in
in
the
a little bit
studio
from there.
together, we were
Hold.
on a treadmill
Head up a little
together.
bit.
Yeah.
Don't tilt down. Just
The show
head up.
kind of feels like a treadmill right now. Yeah,
No
we were.
push.
People were wondering what we were doing.
Animation
We
you
were
on one.
losing weight. We were
Again,
we-
when we get there.
Well, I got to get back to that.
Clear the set.
All right.
Clear it.
Well, Linda, you're first, huh?
That's you, Eric.
What am I doing?
All right, I gotta go.
4, 3,
Yeah.
2,
Top
1.
clip
Roll
was
21,
first.
fade up track. You're next on 1. Set camera 1 with X. Stand by I2. Roll I2. Dissolve mic, go.
Well, it's almost here, the NFL season. Players are getting set
Someone's
to
in the
report
shot.
to training
That's his
camp at the end of the month.
Lose the key.
And if you
Insert
guys
Z.
are like me, you just
Insert
can't
Z,
wait
fire
for the
Z.
season to start. To
I3
put us
is
all in the
next. We'll
mood,
take to it.
we thought that a look
If
back
this isn't clear,
at last
we'll take it
season
to it clean.
via my top 10 NFL plays would be exactly what the doctor ordered. Yes,
When?
we're ready for some football.
And
So here we
roll
go.
I3,
We look
take
back,
track.
and obviously we left
Art
a few
music.
out, but I think you'll
Both
get the
side,
flavor.
both side, both.
The
First
season
sound, 111
began
to
with the
119.
amazing finishes by Byron Leftwich in Jacksonville.
Linda's
Fourth and
doing
goal.
the bump when we get
Leftwich
there
to
in
Ernest
I4.
Wilford.
Linda
The
is now
Jags
doing
did
the
this
bump.
almost the whole month of September, and they beat the Bills
Bro,
up
can you
north.
confirm the last
Play
break
number
is
9.
2:15?
Eddie Janitor in a Drummond. This is why, even despite the injury, Pro Bowl against the
Craig,
Jags, he takes
2:15
this
in that last
fourth
break,
quarter,
right?
155 yards to the house for the touchdown.
Break set
Just a
at
couple of
2:15,
minutes
right?
later,
That's correct.
you know
Okay.
what's going to happen. He takes
Maybe
another
David
five.
Carabello. What's up, my friend?
And he
I'm
shits
hoping.
outside.
Okay.
And guess what? He
I'm going to do the
could
score, yep.
go all the
Thank you.
way.
You're looking ahead.
Sending the
Are
game
we
to
set with the
overtime.
score
Jacksonville
James
eventually
gave for the
won.
last segment?
Troy
Sean Cooney and
Palmer,
John Mayer.
college
Billboard.
Are we
roommate,
set with the
teammate
Yankee score?
JP
of
or
Carson
Jackson
Palmer,
with,
but not today. For the
courtesy
Steelers,
copyright
he
off Blue or
makes a
no?
move, then
Okay.
makes another move.
Would we be
Just
good?
gotta get off
And
on
he
time.
goes
right,
all
I'll
the
take
way
him
into
from
the
XY
end zone for the
shots.
interception
Courtesy
return. The
copyright
Steelers,
comes
part of their
from
great season against the Bengals.
About
Michael Vick,
18
stripped
seconds
by
to sound.
Julius
Let's
Peppers,
see.
who did this in Denver.
15
Look
to
at that.
sound.
He's a defensive
Stand
end.
by,
He
sound
does
full.
go all the
10.
way, but
Help
in
him
the
here,
end,
Christine.
Vick
Stand by.
defies the laws of gravity.
That's my bad.
Can you count him? I don't know if he can hear.
So incredibly special.
I don't know if he
At
can
his
hear.
mic, go.
Some of the
sound in a
best
minute.
catches you'll
1
ever
minute
see. How
to
about
sound.
Roy Williams, the Detroit rookie in Week 1 in Chicago? And the Lions won a road game. First time in about 4 years. Ronald Curry on Sunday night in the snow.
I-4 bump, regular bump
Raiders
out of this.
against Denver. Play 5 is Aaron Stecker. December
Andy
19th,
Tillman
this
did
plays
an
the
excellent
opening
job
kickoff.
turning
But look at
this
this
around. Rat
recovery.
Tillman,
The Bucks
way
have
to
him
be on
hemmed in
very
for the
short
Saints.
notice.
But he moves
he did
outside.
research, too.
Oh,
He
don't
did.
tell me.
Carabello.
Oh, yes. Sometimes if you bobble it, everybody
How about the Red
freezes.
Sox
He
supposed to
does.
30 to sound.
Go all
Red Sox
the
supposed
way,
to be-
98
Dave
yards.
Carabello, way to be.
Saints win it
So you're my
21-17
MVP.
at the new Sombrero. Ed Reed.
UConn
Every
should
week
not
he
be in
makes
the
a
show.
play like
20
this
to
for the
sound.
Ravens.
Sturgey, way to be
The Browns
in
trying to
tape,
tie it,
Jack.
but Reed has other ideas.
15
he
to
ties
sound.
this one up with a bow. NFL record, 106 yards.
10 to
Ravens win the game
sound.
27-13.
Stand by, sound full.
Lance
In
Beckman.
Ed Reed,
5,
great season he
4
had.
to sound.
And Peyton
3,
Manning
2,
taking aim at Dan
1.
Marino's record.
Track it full. Clip his mic. More VO to follow. 5-year microphone. At his mic. Go.
How much
Peyton
time?
Manning, 49
How
touchdown
long is the
passes.
total?
Play of the
327,
year
I think,
individual,
Got another
Donovan
minute.
McNabb. Remember this on
31.
Monday
Yeah,
night at
really
Dallas?
Bump out of this.
Goes back
I-4
the
music,
other way
Linda's
across the
mic.
field.
How much time? is left?
327.
There's no
do
way
the
he
math.
can throw it. Oh, yes, he
30, 40
can.
seconds.
He uncorks it.
I'm gonna be heavy.
And fast
Yeah, I think
Freddie
you are gonna be
Mitchell
heavy. I
makes
am.
the
You got
catch.
a big recipe so you think it's saved any time in the last break.
shades of
Hey,
Randall
30
Cobb,
seconds.
How many looking at?
Buffalo.
They can save me
But
15 or
how about
30
the
would be
Patriots?
awesome.
Sitting
Chris,
down.
can we
Five,
save
just do
15
an
to 30
outbound
seconds
studio.
the last
How
break?
much-
And we're gonna miss him this year, but in the
thanks,
playoffs,
Chris.
the team that scored the most
He has
was
power.
Colts.
Cycle.
Good.
Held
Extra
against
Toby,
3 points by
145.
Teddy
Perfect.
Bruschi
Thank you.
and
Who, Chris?
the New England
Chris,
Patriots.
thank you. You saved
And
me.
then
High form
the team
music,
that allowed
Linda.
the least
Saved
points,
me.
Pittsburgh,
Saved
but the
me.
Patriots hang up
That's gonna go
41.
heavy.
Here we
Brady
go.
to Deion Branch, those two would
5,
combine
4,
in the Super Bowl
3,
as the Pats win
2,
the third Lombardi Trophy in 4 years. I'm ready
roll
for
like
football.
4. Why music might go.
Me too. Hey, Boston
All right,
won.
cool.
Yanks
Stand
look
by
to
your
keep
break.
pace with Randy
Stand by.
Johnson on the mound.
5,
We'll tell you all
4,
about Jason Giambi's
3,
big night against
2,
the Angels so far.
1. Roll your break. Wide.
2, 1, 145.
All right, guys, I'm
Clear.
gonna come back.
145 now. Break
Boom,
to
we're gonna
145.
do the Yankees-Angels score. We'll probably have about 40. You know what, Linda? Let's do the Danica. Let's do the promo. Let's do. Here's what we're gonna do. Linda's gonna do the Danica Patrick promo Sunday at 2:30. AJ Foy 225 VO, and then Boom will do the score, and then we'll say goodbye. Okay.
Yes.
But I don't win anymore.
Yeah.
How much time do we till we come back?
Track 21.
Can
Play
you
it.
tell
All
me
right.
we're a minute from coming back?
There's a reason you've been
115.
National Broadcaster of the Year 6 times.
I
Every
read
time you do a
21,
highlight, you
play
bring the
22,
energy and the enthusiasm
5
of
minutes.
someone who's doing it for the first time. What's it like doing football highlights when it's not football season?
Because you can do it in your sleep, and I just proved it.
This promo is for Jack.
You know what?
Oberman.
I think the key is doing
Flip on
and
22.
thank you, Stu, for that. I don't know why. My peers have voted me a few times, but I've been here a long time. If you do highlights as if you're doing the game live, you kind of know what it is, but don't have him score the touchdown until he crosses the goal line. Don't have the ball hit off the wall if it's baseball until it's going to be off the wall. Because the folks at home probably haven't seen it. So give it to them like it's live and exciting, and then it's exciting for you.
There's a difference in doing highlights and doing play-by-play, but a lot of the viewers can't really decipher those differences. So give them that kind of information.
Why not? Because we're excited about it. You
We
are. You do
Are
it.
you kidding me? I'm watching the thing going, oh, baby. Football is coming. Speaking of football, let's go to a former quarterback at UNLV, Kenny Mayne.
Hey, thanks, Stuart. You remember Lonnie Harrell? He's from Alaska. We celebrated him earlier because he's from the state, 50-50. We're still trying to get 50 Cent involved. Then they killed your highlight because Mark Summer can't time out a show. Are you going to move back to Alaska?
That's a possibility. You never know. I mean, I have a great family there, great friends. I have a lot of job opportunities.
But you're going to roll with it, right? I mean, it's just one night.
It's one night, but you know how TV is.
All right, we called his dad on the phone. It's not an authorized expense. But anyway, his dad did some nice military service. Let's go to George.
You have some upset PAs because you killed some highlights. How do you explain yourself?
I tell the PAs they all work hard. They do a terrific job, but I was a PA. My highlights got killed. You got to live with it and bounce back tomorrow and cut them more and get it done. But everyone did a tremendous job tonight.
Overall, how would you assess the show?
You know what? The show was good. Hold on one sec. Boomer Yankees score next. 30 seconds to off air. Good job. We had the hiccup in the end of the Red Sox highlight. We had a freeze on a highlight, but Chris Ruskas did a tremendous job directing. So I think in all, pretty solid effort. A little sloppy. I give it a B+.
End of the show.
15 off.
Just give me a little time.
15.
He's proven that it's true. The Yankees are the Angels 5-2 in the bottom of the seventh.
Hey, you didn't want to go back down to the minors. Right, I enjoyed it.
Pulling out on
Good job.
2. Jane Jacks,
All right,
5,
see ya.
4,
Linda Cohn, I'm Chris
3,
Berman. This
2,
was Sports
1.
All right, guys, we
clear.
made it.
We are clear.
Good job.
Thank you, everybody.
And this is
job.
SportsCenter continues for another 90 seconds.
It's
All right, show's over. Unfortunately, we don't have a cooler. What goes through your mind? Not yet. What goes through your mind when you exhale and it's done?
It's like, you tried to give it your best shot. Not everything was a Rembrandt painting, but you try to give the folks out there what they tuned in for. And it's like, okay, thank God it's done, but it's still a rush. You know that. We won't go to bed for hours.
And
right?
usually when you're having fun up here, it was a good show. Because like Boom says, even when things go a little bit off kilter, if you have fun and make light of it, enjoy what you're doing, it comes through the screen.
You know what's fun? And you know it too. And you know somebody for a long time. Like the folks behind the scenes that we've known a long time, like Mark Summer, the Bird. But Lynn and I, we've been compatriots. We haven't worked a lot of shows together.
I know.
We laugh a lot in the newsroom together, and that helps us. See, there it is.
There you go. There's the laugh. There's the laugh.
And real quickly, all of us, whenever we make a mistake, which we always do, we ball up the mistake and we throw it away. Hey, this is SportsCenter, behind the scenes look. As we leave you, take a look at what we've done tonight.